Chapter 845. Lin Xian stretched his body. Of course. Do you think God saved you? Xian's face was slightly red. Although she felt that this person was quite annoying, was a scumbag, and had hurt her so much, he had saved her after all. Thank you, Xian said softly. Then she raised her head, and stretched out her hand to Lin Xian. I'm Xian. Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Xian tilted her head. You know him? No, I just feel like I've heard of him before. Xian said softly. Lin Xian looked into the distance, and took out his phone. This was a little F***ing awkward. There was no signal. It was normal for there to be no signal in this place. Xian copied Lin Xian, and took out her phone. There was also no signal. Then what do we do now? When had Xian ever encountered such a situation? If she was left alone in such an environment, she would be dead. She knew that she could only follow Lin Xian. What else can we do? Let's go. We'll talk when we reach a place with signal. After Lin Xian finished speaking, he walked in the direction of the ice country. Oh. Xian obediently followed Lin Xian. Then she secretly rubbed her Mimi. It really didn't hurt anymore. Bastard. Couldn't you have gone somewhere else to grab her? She wasn't sure if Lin Xian did it on purpose, or if it was just a coincidence. But it should be a coincidence in that situation. She couldn't let others know. But she felt so wronged. She hadn't even been in a relationship, and her Mimi was pinched like that. Damn it. Xian was going crazy behind them. This girl was a dream lover in the eyes of the public. She was elegant, pure and noble. However, she had a mischievous heart. It was just that in front of the big screen, the company wanted her to be like that. She couldn't do anything about it. Lin Xian, are the others dead? Xian asked from behind. No, I don't know where I sent them. Life and death are up to fate. However, they should be together. Plus, the captain and co-captain of the plane should be quite strong. They shouldn't be in too much danger. Oh. Xian nodded lightly. Strange, does he not recognize me? She thought from behind. That shouldn't be the case, right? That. Do you usually watch TV and listen to music? Xian caught up with Lin Xian and asked tentatively. I usually play with girls. Xian. Scumbag. Then, Lin Xian turned to look at her with a smirk. Especially a pretty girl like you. Xian. She instinctively took a step back and looked at Lin Xian warily. You, what are you doing? Yes. Xian. Lin Xian then approached her step by step with a smirk. I will sue you. She really didn't know if Lin Xian was real or not. He was a scumbag, and there were only the two of them. They were outside, and he was much stronger than her. If he was real, oh my God. Could he be that unlucky? Sue me? Who are you going to sue? Plop. Xian took a step back and fell to the ground, sitting on her butt. Lin Xian walked in front of her and squatted down, using his hand to lift her delicate chin. Say, I saved your life, so you have to repay me, right? Xian looked at Lin Xian warily, her big eyes filled with fear. I can give you money. Xian said weakly. Lin Xian shook his head. I don't lack money. Xian was so scared that tears flowed down her face. Ding! Prince Charming points plus 200,000. Lin Xian was satisfied with getting the Prince Charming points. I'm just teasing you. Lin Xian then stood up and smiled. Xian. You. Xian then stood up and wiped her tears as she stared at Lin Xian angrily. She was angry and scared. It's fun. Xian stomped her feet and said angrily. Yes, it's fun. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Humph. Let's go. If you don't want to die, then follow me. One day passed just like that. Normally, Lin Xian would arrive at Ice City the next morning, but Lin Xian walked for half a day, so he didn't know where he was the next morning. Xiao Runing was also trying to contact Lin Xian. Normally, he would arrive at that time, but she found that she couldn't contact him at all. His WeChat was offline, and she couldn't get through to his phone. Could something have happened? Xiao Runing thought worriedly. He's not here yet? Xiao Xinhua looked at Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing shook her head. I can't get through to his phone. I don't know if his phone is turned off or there's no signal. It's normal to have no signal in the beast domain, but the plane has its own signal. That means he might be in the beast domain now. Xiao Runing frowned. It seems that something really happened. Then she quickly made a phone call. Hello, Uncle Zhang. Help me check the plane that flew from Tiandu to Ice City in Lin'an City yesterday. After a minute, he received a message. The plane had lost contact. Xiao Runing felt as if all her strength had been sucked out of her body at that moment. She was really worried that something might have happened to Lin Xian. If something really happened to him, Xiao Runing would die of guilt because he came to Ice City for her. Otherwise he wouldn't have come. But now, he had lost contact with her. If something happened to him, it would be because of her. It's okay. Doesn't he have the space attribute? Even if the plane was attacked by the beast domain, with his space attribute, he can at least guarantee that he will be fine. Xiao Xinyue comforted. Right. Lin Xian was of the spatial attribute. If it were someone of another attribute, they would probably be dead for sure. Be it the explosion of the plane, or the attacks of the demonic beasts, they would all be able to take their lives. But if it was someone of the spatial attribute, but in the end, she was just comforting herself. I'll go find him. Xiao Runing stood up. How can I find him in such a big place? At that moment, Xiao Runing received a message on her phone. She quickly picked up the phone and saw Lin Xian's profile picture. At that moment, she almost cried. Then, she quickly called Lin Xian. Hello, where are you? Lin Xian's voice came from the phone. Don't mention it. The plane had an accident. Fortunately, this young master has the space attribute. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to see you. I don't know where I am. My phone just got a signal. Xiao Runing sighed in relief. Send me your location. I'll come and pick you up. Okay. Xiao Runing put down the phone. This bastard is really pitiful. Even with such a small chance, he still encountered it. Fortunately, he's fine. Then, she looked at Xiao Xinyue and said, I'll go and pick him up. I'll go with you. On the other side, Lin Xian was sitting on a rock. Next to him was an Xian. Let's wait. It's more than 1,000 kilometers. My friend will need a few hours to get here. An Xian nodded. Thank you. So, you haven't told me how you're going to repay me. Lin Xian looked at her with a smile. Her long eyelashes fluttered slightly due to the turmoil in her heart. She was so adorable. Then, she slowly stood on her tiptoes and slowly walked towards Lin Xian's face with her pink lips. Mua Lin Xian only felt a trace of coolness and softness. It was quite exquisite. Ding! Tricked a big sister into kissing you. Adonis points plus 300,000. An Xian hurriedly retreated and opened her beautiful eyes. It's done. Lin Xian touched his cheek and grinned. You can't tell anyone. An Xian mumbled softly. Don't worry. No one will know you. Who can I tell? Lin Xian smiled. An Xian. He really didn't know her. Was he from Mars? It was normal that he couldn't recognize her when she was wearing those big sunglasses. But now forget it. Didn't he say that he played with girls every day? He didn't watch TV either. Are you from Ice Country? Lin Xian asked. No. An Xian shook her head. An Xian blushed and shook her head. I'm from China's Tiandu. I came to Ice Nation to travel. Lin Xian. Amazing. Who the hell would take the risk of traveling across countries? Of course there were. But it was really dangerous. Most people were unwilling to take the risk, even if they had the ability. Lin Xian didn't suspect anything. He really didn't know her, because he didn't watch TV. Wouldn't it be great if he had the time to go out and accompany girls? The TV was about other people's lives. But since she was from Hua country, Lin Xian was relieved. After all, he had to confess in the future. How would she get along if she was in Ice Country? What about you? She asked. Lin'an City. Lin'an City. An Xian mumbled, and then secretly made a decision. I'll definitely go to Lin'an City, she said. Lin'an City was the most border city, and the company didn't want her to hold a concert there. But now, she felt that there was a need to hold a concert there. Lin Xian nodded. At this time, a private jet flew over from afar. It was obvious that it had noticed Lin Xian and an Xian. F***ck. Lin Xian couldn't help but smile when he saw the private jet. This Xiao family was extraordinarily rich. They even got a private jet. Then the jet landed, and a dozen people came down. And then I told you not to come alone, but you insisted. What if something happened to you? A woman close to 30 years old hugged an Xian. She looked very scared. Lin Xian. F***ck. He was happy for nothing. An Xian had sent a message to her people, and they came first. Sister Ling, I'm sorry. An Xian stuck out her tongue. It's good that you're fine. Hurry up and leave. It's not good to stay in the beast territory. An Xian nodded and ran towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian, come with me. Lin Xian shook his head with a smile. No, I'm still waiting for my friend. If I leave, wouldn't she have come for nothing? You guys go first. I have the space attribute. It's very safe here. Then I'll accompany you. No need. Go. Lin Xian patted her shoulder. Oh. An Xian nodded. Suddenly, she thought of something and quickly took out her phone. That, can I add you on WeChat? The people behind looked at each other. Since the girl took the initiative to add me on WeChat, I'll definitely agree. Lin Xian smiled and added her on WeChat. An Xian smiled sweetly. Thank you. Then you must be careful. Lin Xian nodded. Let's go. Then an Xian boarded the plane with them. On the plane, she kept looking at Lin Xian. Bye-bye. An Xian waved at Lin Xian, and the cabin closed. Lin Xian was relieved when he saw that there were a few powerful people behind him. Then the plane flew into the sky. Chapter 847. And then who is that? Why did you add him on WeChat? If your fans find out about this, I'm afraid there will be bad consequences. An Xian's manager, Zhang Ling, said to an Xian on the plane. He's my savior. If it wasn't for Lin Xian, I would have been dead. An Xian said truthfully. I see. On the other side, Lin Xian was browsing an Xian's WeChat moments. He had only known her for a short period of time, and didn't know what kind of person she was. But she seemed to be quite nice. It was said that WeChat moments could reflect a person's personality and habits. Since Lin Xian didn't know much about her, but since he was going to woo her in the future, there was no harm in knowing more. After Lin Xian opened her WeChat moments, he found that her WeChat moments were mostly photos of her life. Then there were some itineraries. She mentioned which city she was going to today, and which city she was going to tomorrow. What was even more ridiculous was, there were many photos of her with boys in her WeChat moments. She was smiling brightly. More importantly, these boys, whether they were 17, 18, or 30, were all very handsome. At a glance, one could tell that they were not the kind of handsome that ordinary people were. F***ck. This an Xian can't be a support girl, right? Lin Xian suddenly thought of this possibility. Otherwise, why would there be so many photos of boys in her WeChat moments? Many girls would post photos of themselves with handsome guys to show off. What was there to show off? To prove that they were beautiful. It can't be right? Lin Xian scratched his head. That was his first reaction anyway. However, he felt that an Xian's personality should be very conservative. But who could say for sure when it came to personality? There were too many girls who looked pure and innocent on the surface. But in reality, they were a different kind of person. I hope not. Otherwise, I won't even have the thought of chasing her. Lin Xian muttered to himself. However, some of the boys in her WeChat moments looked very familiar. After a while, another private jet flew over. Here. Lin Xian waved at the sky. Whoosh. The plane slowly descended, and two beauties jumped down from it. Xiao Runing ran over, and rubbed her hands on Lin Xian's body. What are you doing? You're taking advantage of me the moment you arrive? Lin Xian said shyly. Shu Shu, are you hurt? Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Tisk, I'll only get hurt in the hands of a woman. Xiao Runing. How shameless. Then, Lin Xian waved at Xiao Xinyue, who was standing behind him. Hello, little Xinyue, I want to kiss. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. She dodged Lin Xian, who was approaching her. Kiss my sister. Xiao Xinyue said helplessly. No, I want to kiss you, Mua. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Go to hell. I won't let you kiss me even if you want to. Keep dreaming. Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. The point is, I don't want to kiss you either. Lin Xian laughed. Xiao Runing was speechless. Ding. Feeling Xiao Runing's displeasure, Adonis points plus 100,000. Just you wait. Xiao Runing threatened Lin Xian fiercely. Oh, I'll wait. Little girl, who's helping who now? When I meet your parents later, sigh, I might forget something or say something wrong. Sigh. If someone apologizes, I shouldn't make any mistakes. Xiao Runing was speechless. Aha! I'm wrong, okay? Not sincere. I'm wrong, Xiao Runing said, feeling wronged. Then I want a kiss. Lin Xian smiled and tapped his cheek. Go to hell. Sigh. You won't even give me a kiss. I'm going to act as your boyfriend. I came all the way here and even encountered danger. If I didn't have the space attribute, I would have died here. Now you want me to die? Lin Xian clutched his chest and said with heartache. Go away. Stop fooling around. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes. If Xiao Xinyue wasn't here, she might have kissed Lin Xian's cheek. But with her sister here, she couldn't let go. Xiao Xinyue was also quite surprised. She felt that Lin Xian and Xiao Runing's relationship was really good. It was far beyond the category of normal friends. She could feel it. Alright. Since we're sleeping together tonight, I'll let you kiss me as much as you want. Lin Xian said with a grin. Xiao Runing was speechless. How shameless. This bastard's shamelessness seemed to have deepened. Ladies, we shouldn't stay here for long. Let's go back first. An old man in his 50s poked his head out of the plane and said to them, Yes, let's go back first. Xiao Runing breathed a sigh of relief. She finally found an excuse to escape. Then, she quickly pulled Lin Xian onto the plane. The plane flew into the sky. The plane was very small. It was just a helicopter. Other than the captain, there was only the old man sitting in the plane. Obviously, they were worried about danger. Lin Xian, let me introduce you. This is Uncle Zhang, the butler of the Xiao family. He has been in the Xiao family for as long as I can remember, just like me and Xinyue's grandfather. Xiao Runing introduced Lin Xian. Hello, grandfather. Lin Xian said with a smile. Uncle Zhang was speechless. Xiao Runing was speechless. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Wow, this bastard is so shameless. Uncle Zhang smiled. He looked at Lin Xian and said, I'm not the two young ladies' grandfather. Please don't call me that. I've only carried the two young ladies when I was young. The old man is at home, so please don't call me Uncle Zhang like the young ladies do. Okay, Uncle Zhang. However, Lin Xian was speechless. It was normal for the Xiao family to have a butler. After all, they lived in a big villa. No, even if they lived in a big villa, they wouldn't hire a butler. A manor. F***ck. It was definitely a manor. If it wasn't a manor, there wouldn't be a butler. Furthermore, this butler was at least at the Grand Dominion realm. To be able to hire a Grand Dominion realm expert as his butler for so many years at that, this Xiao family might be more powerful than Lin Xian imagined. Xiao Ningning. What kind of family is your Xiao family? You even have an expert like Uncle Zhang as your butler? Uncle Zhang asked in surprise. Young master, didn't the young lady tell you? No, I asked her but she didn't say. Lin Xian shrugged. Young master, you'll know when you get there. Lin Xian was speechless. It felt so mysterious. That's right. You'll know when you get there, Xiao Runing said with a smile. Actually, she didn't want to expose her family background. However, she had no choice. Did you want her to find another man to pretend to be her boyfriend and sleep with him? That was impossible. She had an ambiguous relationship with Lin Xian. It was only possible if she had feelings for him. Since it was exposed, then so be it. As long as Lin Xian didn't say anything, it would be fine. Chapter 848. Soon, the plane reached the edge of the city and flew further away. The Ice Nation was the capital of the Ice Nation. The reason why the Ice Nation was called the Ice Nation was because there were 3 seasons of winter in a year. Even if that season was spring, the snow and ice of the Ice Nation would rarely melt. It was truly an empire of ice and snow. Now in the sky of Bing City, Lin Xian looked out the window. It was very, very beautiful. But it had to be said that the people of Bing country were really resistant to the cold. It might not be a big deal for martial artists, but for ordinary people without realms, they would feel cold all year round. But even so, it was cold all year round, So the ice country was super good at keeping warm. Whether it was the structure of the house or the floor heating, everyone had it. And relatively speaking, the price was much lower than the price of any other country. Moreover, the Ice Nation was different from the other four empires. The Ice Nation was similar to a constitutional monarchy, although the three major forces ruled the entire continent and had the highest say in any place. They would not interfere with the management of the Ice Nation. They were more concerned with protecting the city and the country, developing themselves. This was because Bing country had its own set of national laws. There was an emperor in Bing country, and the emperor had the greatest power. Of course, although the emperor had great power, he could not act recklessly. He had to consider the common people. Simply put, the emperor of Bing country had the greatest power in Bing country, far surpassing the 8 major families of China. He could give orders to the entire empire. But the people always had the greatest power. As long as you did something bad, the people could dismiss you, and the 3 major powers also had the right to do so. Therefore, although the power was great, it was not like the ancient emperors, who could do whatever they wanted. The emperor had his own power that belonged to the T2 level, which was only lower than the 3 major powers. However, it was many times higher than a normal T2 level power. And the emperor had his palace, which was in Bing City. The entire ice country gave people the feeling that it was somewhere between modern and ancient times. 3 hours later, they arrived at a brand new city. It was the largest city, and its prosperity was not inferior to Tiandu. Tall buildings towered into the clouds, and the entire city was silver-white in color. It was super beautiful. Uncle Zhang, are Grandpa and Grandma here too? Old Master and Old Madam should be in the palace. Isn't the annual meeting about to start? They need to organize themselves, so they might not have time to meet you today. Lin Xian. Imperial Palace? The palace where the Ice Emperor resided? F***CK. Xiao Ningning. You can't be the princess of the Ice Nation, right? Lin Xian stared at Xiao Runing with his mouth wide open. Of course not, Xiao Runing said. If I were the Ice Princess, how could my family let me casually find a man to be my boyfriend? Lin Xian. That's true. However, Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. If this girl was the Ice Princess, then she would be awesome. However, the old madam is the daughter of the previous emperors. Uncle Zhang said. Lin Xian. So Xiao Runing's grandmother was the elder of the current emperor? She only said that her family was very big. Maybe her grandmother was just a collateral relative, or something like that. But no matter what, it must be very impressive. So you're a relative of the emperor? Xiao Runing nodded. You can say that. In this era, there's no such thing as a relative of the emperor. Although the Ice Nation is like this, it still has to listen to the 3 major powers. Actually, in simple terms, the palace where the emperor resides and his family are just one of the big families in the Ice City. The emperor is just a title, nothing much. Then what do you call the emperor now? Uncle. Lin Xian. Oh, okay. We're here, Xiao Runing said. Then, the plane slowly came to a stop in a huge manor. Lin Xian felt that this manor was much bigger than the Ling families. There were many people gathered here to welcome Lin Xian's arrival. This made Lin Xian feel flattered. When he went to the Ling family and the Han family, it wasn't like this. Lin Xian even had the illusion that he would have to face all kinds of difficulties. A few people walked down from the plane. Dad, Mom, Lin Xian is here. Xiao Runing pulled Lin Xian behind her and said. The beautiful woman who looked like Xiao Runing and Xiao Xinyue directly pushed Xiao Runing away, as if she was her own mother. Then she pulled Lin Xian's hand. So this is little Xian. As expected, he's handsome and talented. He's much more handsome than in the photos, right? Madam is right. Son-in-law is really handsome. A few girls at the side said with a smile. Lin Xian. Wah! I'm not used to this. I'm begging you, please send a few people to cause trouble. I beg you. Auntie, uncle, I brought a lot of gifts on the way here. But the plane had an accident, and the gifts were all gone. Lin Xian said, a little embarrassed. Actually, there was no need to buy gifts. He planned to buy them in Ice City. It's fine as long as you're fine. It's Ning Ning's fault. Xiao Zun said to Lin Xian with a smile. I. Xiao Runing couldn't say anything. Who is the real father? Wah. My parents-in-law are really nice. Quick, quick, go into the room. It's cold outside. Let's go. Then, Yi Qianling pulled Lin Xian's hand and walked into the villa. Yes, since they got off the plane, she held Lin Xian's hand and didn't let go. Lin Xian was flattered. Then, they entered the warm and beautiful villa. Ning Ning, get little Xian a glass of water. Oh, got it. Xiao Runing pouted. Xiao Xinyue had just sat down when Xiao Zun glanced at her. Go get some fruit for your brother-in-law. Xiao Xinyue. Oh. Then, she got up and left helplessly. Come, come, come. Drink some milk. It's just warmed up. Yi Qianling handed the milk to Lin Xian. Thank you, Auntie. Lin Xian took it. Damn it. Instead, he felt even more reserved now. In the Ling family, the Han family wasn't reserved either. Damn. That. Little Xian, when do you plan to have a child with Ning Ning? Yi Qianling asked abruptly. Cough, cough. Lin Xian choked on a mouthful of milk. Wah. This mother-in-law. Hey, you don't know. Ning Ning and Xinyue don't even like to stay at home all year round. They don't even like to stay in the ice country. How can we, as their parents, not be anxious? So, you should have a chubby child early, so that Ning Ning's father and I can raise it. It won't be so boring. Yi Qianling said with a smile. What nonsense are you talking about? No matter what, you have to get married before you can have children. Xiao Zun said. What? We can't have children before marriage? Didn't I give birth to Ning Ning for you before I got married? Yi Qianling glared at Xiao Zun. Xiao Zun took a sip of tea and didn't dare to talk back. Clearly, Yi Qianling was in charge of this family. Of course, it wasn't that Xiao Zun didn't have any status. Maybe he was a henpecked husband. Chapter 849. Lin Xian helplessly drank a mouthful of milk. Auntie, uncle, you can't rush things like giving birth. Xiao Ningming said she doesn't want to give birth, so we haven't been intimate even when we're living together. Lin Xian said, feeling wronged. That means Xiao Xian, you want a child, right? That girl doesn't agree to it? Lin Xian nodded. That's right. Thump. Xiao Runing, who had just walked over, staggered and almost fell down. What was this bastard talking about? Lin Xian stifled a laugh in his heart. Little brat, I'm going to kill you. Why aren't you obediently submitting to me? Ningning. Yi Qianling glared at Xiao Runing. Mom, don't listen to Lin Xian's nonsense. Xiao Runing said, feeling wronged. I told you a few years ago to bring back a grandson for me. How many years has it been? Xiao Xian wants a child so badly. Your dad and I want one too. You're the only one who doesn't listen. Xiao Runing couldn't say anything. Auntie, don't blame her. Maybe it's my problem. You? Too little time? Lin Xian. Ahem. Xiao Xinyue came over with a fruit platter and couldn't help but cough. She just went to get a fruit platter. What were they talking about? Lin Xian was also stunned. Damn. This mother-in-law wasn't any worse than Ling Ying's mother. Of course not. Auntie, you really know how to joke. Lin Xian said resentfully. Thank goodness. Yi Qianling also patted her chest. As a woman, she understood this kind of worrisome thing the best. If a woman couldn't be satisfied in that aspect, she would feel terrible. So she was really worried that Lin Xian had that problem. Fortunately, it wasn't. Then, Lin Xian sighed and said, Auntie, you also know that your daughter is very outstanding, and there are many people pursuing her. Hearing Lin Xian's praise, the two of them were very satisfied. This was equivalent to praising them for being born with good genes. It wasn't easy for me to get her, but she's too outstanding, so I don't have much status in front of her. You know, so that depends on her mood. If she's not willing, I can't do anything no matter how hard I try. Lin Xian said, feeling wronged. Xiao Runing. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Wow, this bastard is so shameless. F***ck. Condense. Yi Qianling looked at Xiao Runing reproachfully. How unpleasant. Lin Xian stifled a laugh in his heart. I understand. She could only swallow the bitter water into her stomach, and then grumbled. A girl should listen to a boy. Girls should listen to boys. If you don't bring back a grandson for me and your dad next year, don't come back to this house. I don't see you listening to me. Xiaozun grumbled. What did you say? No. No, I said that madam is right. Xiaozun hurriedly said with a smile. That's more like it. Drink water. Xiao Runing put the water in front of Lin Xian in a bad mood. How should I say this? Yi Qianling then glared at Xiao Runing. Is that how you talk to your boyfriend? Xiao Runing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then she picked up the cup and handed it to Lin Xian, saying gently, Drink water. That's more like it. Yi Qianling grumbled. Lin Xian took it with satisfaction and smiled. Good girl. Xiao Runing. She couldn't take it anymore. Mom, I'll go prepare dinner. You can chat with Lin Xian. Xiao Runing wanted to run away quickly. Stop. Yi Qianling stopped her. Is there anything else? Dinner isn't urgent. It's not even 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Let the servants prepare the ingredients first. You can cook with me. The most important thing now is the child. Xiao Runing. Mom, I can't conjure up a child for you right now. Xiao Runing was going crazy. Xian, give me the thing. Yi Qianling opened her hand to Lin Xian. Lin Xian was dumbfounded. Auntie, what is it? It's the thing you have to wear when you're intimate. Lin Xian. Xiao Runing. Xiao Xinyue. Mom, dear mom, I'm begging you. Let's do our nails and hair, okay? Xiao Runing hugged Yi Qianling and giggled. Next to him, Xiao Xinyue calmly took a sip of tea with both hands. Lin Xian said awkwardly. I don't have one. You don't have one? Shouldn't you guys carry 1 or 2 around with you in your wallet? Ahem. Lin Xian scratched his head and said. But Xiao Ningning and I don't get intimate more than a few times a year. I don't have one with me. Xiao Runing. This bastard did it on purpose. Yi Qianling looked at Xiao Runing. My bad. Xiao Runing quickly said. She hated Lin Xian so much that she gritted her teeth. You've always been obedient since you were young. Your sister is the one who doesn't listen. Why don't you listen to mom? I'll listen. Xiao Runing said repeatedly. She lost. She admitted defeat. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Oh, little Xinyue didn't listen when she was young? Why did it feel like the opposite? Lin Xian felt that the one who didn't listen was more likely to be Xiao Runing, not Xiao Xinyue. Xiao Xinyue saw Lin Xian's gaze, and quickly lowered her head to drink her tea. Okay, let's not talk about anything else. Xiao Xian, do you want to rest in Ningning's room? Yi Qianling asked. Auntie, it's okay. We'll talk about it at night. Okay, that's fine. Ningning and I will go prepare dinner. You two can talk. Xinyue, tell your brother-in-law more about your sister's past. Xiao Xinyue. Oh, okay. Xiao Xinyue nodded. Obviously, Yi Qianling was helping Lin Xian. She wanted Xiao Xinyue to tell Lin Xian some embarrassing things about Xiao Runing, and then raise his status. This mother-in-law was really scheming. Xiao Runing was about to lose all hope. Her mother made her feel hopeless, and Lin Xian, that bastard, was adding fuel to the fire. Damn it. Xiao Xian, your auntie is like this. You have to be more tolerant. She's been thinking about grandchildren all day long. Especially when she sees her good friends carrying grandchildren out for walks all day long. She hopes to have grandchildren to carry even more. Xiaozun said to Lin Xian with a smile. Okay, of course I understand. Lin Xian nodded. But Ningning isn't young anymore. It's time for her to start a family. And Xinyue. The topic suddenly turned to Xiao Xinyue. Xiao Xinyue was stunned. We were quite happy when we heard that Xinyue had a boyfriend. We thought that the 2 precious daughters would bring their boyfriends this year. But she said that they broke up. Didn't I say not to mention it? Xiao Xinyue said indifferently. After your mom finished urging your sister, she started urging you. Huazun said helplessly. Chapter 850. Lin Xian said with a smile. Sister-in-law is so beautiful. Finding a boyfriend is a piece of cake. That may be the case, but both of my daughters are beautiful. I've never seen them have a boyfriend before. You'll have one next year, Lin Xian said with a smile. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. What an awkward way to address her as sister-in-law. All right, stay here for a few more days. There's an important banquet at the palace tomorrow night. The whole family will be there. You should go too. Lin Xian nodded. Lin Xian wasn't in a hurry to leave, so it didn't matter if he stayed a little longer. Alright, I'll go help out. Xian, you can talk to Xinyue. Xiao Zun left after saying that. Sister-in-law. Be normal. Without her parents by her side, Xiao Xinyue returned to her usual self. It's very normal, sister-in-law. Lin Xian grinned. Xiao Xinyue shook her head secretly. Tell me about your sister. Lin Xian said with a smile. I won't. Then I'll tell your mom that you didn't listen to her. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Then I'll tell my mom that you're a fake boyfriend. Alright, then you're only messing with your sister. You didn't take revenge on me. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. That made sense. Then give me a kiss, Lin Xian said with a smile. Go to hell. Xiao Xinyue said coldly, but her beautiful face was a little red. It was a strange feeling. Her sister's boyfriend was at home, and her sister's family was in the kitchen. Then she and her sister's boyfriend were flirting. It was inexplicably exciting. Although she knew that this boyfriend was a fake, it was still exciting. To be honest, I like you more than your sister. Why don't we make do? Lin Xian said with a smile. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. She simply couldn't tell which of his words was true and which were false. Xiao Xinyue didn't answer. Hey, I'm serious. Why don't you consider it? Not considering. I've helped you so much, but you haven't repaid me yet. Lin Xian mumbled. What do you want? Xiao Xinyue looked at Lin Xian. I want you. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Hey, say something. Can you give me a kiss? No. Wow. This is what I want in return. You don't agree? You ungrateful bastard, goodbye. Lin Xian then stood up. Where are you going? It doesn't matter where I'm going. I just don't want to see you. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Then it should be fine from now on, right? Xiao Xinyue said helplessly. Because what Lin Xian said was indeed reasonable. He had helped him so much, but he had yet to thank him. Kiss him? That might not necessarily be the case. In any case, let's talk about it later. Okay, you've agreed. Lin Xian then sat down with a smile and said, Actually, you don't have to kiss me. Why don't you give me a chance to ask you to be my girlfriend? Just take it as my repayment, okay? No. Okay. That's it. You've agreed. You can't go back on your words. That's great. I like people like you. We'll be like this when we get back to Linen City. Lin Xian then walked away with a smile. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Did she agree? But she lowered her head and thought. Did Lin Xian really like her? Yes, she was thinking about this question. Lin Xian went to the kitchen. In the kitchen, the mother and daughter were cooking. Xiao Zun was the assistant. The kitchen was super big. There were also a few girls helping to wash the vegetables. In any case, Lin Xian felt that this family was the most harmonious one he had ever been to. As the head of the family, Xiao Zun was very fond of his wife, making him seem like a henpecked husband. He didn't feel any of the aura that the head of a super family should have from them. They were especially amiable. It must be known that to some extent, the Xiao family was in existence slightly superior to the 8 great families of Tiandu. I'll help, Lin Xian said. Go out and play. You don't need to help. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes and said. Ning Ning. Yi Qianling then said. Xiao Runing was like a mouse seeing a cat. She then said gently to Lin Xian. Leave the cooking to us women. You're a guest. You can rest outside. I'm not a woman. Xiao Zun suddenly realized this. He then waved his hand and prepared to go out. Where are you going? Help me. Is it hard for you to cook for the children? Yi Qianling glared at him. Yes. Xiao Zun said with a smile. Lin Xian then smiled and said, Actually, I often cook at home. Xiao Ningning can prove this. Xiao Runing nodded. And Lin Xian's cooking is quite good. What? You cook for Ningning? Ningning, is it because you're too lazy at home? Women should follow the 3 rules and 4 virtues. Cooking should be done by a girl. Do you understand? Xiao Runing wanted to cry. Auntie, don't misunderstand. She occasionally cooks. Occasionally. Xiao Runing really wanted to strangle Lin Xian. This guy was definitely doing it on purpose. I'll say it one last time. I know. Xiao Runing hurriedly said. Xiao Xian, hearing you say this, Auntie really feels bad for you. Xiao Runing. Hey, hey, hey. Whose mother are you? Also, what's there to feel bad for? Even if what he said was true, cooking was less intimate. What's there to feel bad for? Oh my god. Xinyue, do you think I was picked up? Xiao Runing helplessly asked Xiao Xinyue, who was walking over. Then you'll have to ask mom and dad. I was born later than you. It's even more impossible for me to know. Xiao Xinyue said faintly. Then she walked into the kitchen to help cut the vegetables. That's right. You really were picked up from the trash can. Yi Qianling joked. What a coincidence. Maybe our trash cans were next to each other. Lin Xian teased Xiao Runing. Go to hell. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes. Look at you. You're not gentle anymore. How can you win a man's heart like this? What if Xiaoxian doesn't want you one day? Mom, if he doesn't want me, it'll be me who doesn't want him. Xiao Runing said helplessly. Look at you. You're still so picky. Xiao Runing. Hey, hey, hey. She was known as the #1 beauty teacher in Tianhua City. She was a beauty on the same level as Han Chuxue and the others. Why couldn't she be picky? This mother of hers was so hurtful. But Xiaoxian is also quite handsome. Your baby should be very good-looking too. Yi Qianling was already looking forward to it. Why are you talking about this again? Hearing her mother talk about babies made Xiao Runing's head hurt. If you don't want to give birth to a child, can't you let me think about it? Xiao Runing. Chapter 851. When Xiao Xinyue saw how miserable her sister was, she was genuinely trying to hold back her laughter. To be honest, it was quite difficult for her to laugh. However, home was the warmest place in the world. She knew that Jingjing would be relaxed and laugh in front of her family at home. Sister, if you said you wouldn't bring your boyfriend home, you would be scolded to death. Now that you brought him home, it would be even worse. How miserable. What are you laughing at? Your sister is a letdown, so you have to work harder for me, and bring your boyfriend home next year. Yi Qianling pinched Xiao Xinyue's pink cheeks and said. It seemed that her words were normal, but in fact her tone was teasing. It was dignified but not threatening. Xiao Xinyue. Serves you right for laughing at me. Xiao Runing felt comfortable in her heart. Xiao Xian, if you have any outstanding brothers, you can introduce them to Xinyue. Got it, auntie. Yi Qianling was very satisfied with Lin Xian. In fact, she had some understanding of Lin Xian. Although she had said that her daughter only needed to find a man as long as he was a man, she certainly wouldn't like him if his character wasn't good enough. However, Xiao Runing had told her a lot of things about Lin Xian, including the fact that Lin Xian had saved her before, and that he had the 3 attributes of space, thunder, and ice. She also knew that Lin Xian was the Lin Xian from the Art Pavilion group, so she would certainly be very satisfied. Then, they happily made a table full of delicious food. After they finished, it was already dark. This was the ice country, and it got dark early almost all year round. Then their family sat at the table. As for the other servants in the house, they had their own canteen. They went to cook for themselves, and the treatment was also very good. Let's eat. Let me try Xiao Xian's cooking first. Yi Qianling couldn't wait to pick up a piece of red braised pork that Lin Xian had personally made. Lin Xian looked at her expectantly. How is it? Very good. I can tell that you usually cook a lot. Yi Qianling nodded with satisfaction. She was starting to believe that Lin Xian often cooked for Xiao Runing. Xiao Xinyue also picked up a piece of Lin Xian's dish. It was really not bad. Hey, hey, hey. Is no one going to try mine? Xiao Runing said, feeling wronged. Alright, don't be jealous. Everyone, let's eat. Otherwise, the food will get cold. Xiao Zun smiled and said to his daughter. Because this was a special occasion, the whole family drank a lot of wine. 40 minutes later, they were almost done eating. They talked about a lot of things in the afternoon and during the meal. By the way, Xiao Xian, how did you meet my Ning Ning, and how did you end up together? Yi Qianling asked. In fact, she had always suspected that Lin Xian was Xiao Runing's fake boyfriend, because Lin Xian was her student. She knew that her daughter's thoughts were quite traditional. She shouldn't be able to accept this kind of thing easily. Therefore, she had always been suspicious. She only asked this question to see if she could find any clues. Of course, it would be best if it was true. Xiao Runing and Lin Xian had a lot of things in common. For example, this question. I see. It was fate. At that time, I was still Xiao Ningning's student. It's embarrassing to talk about it. Then our school organized an exam. We encountered danger there. But I happened to have the space attribute, so we escaped. After pausing for a moment, Lin Xian continued. Because I saved Ningning's life. Apart from the teacher-student relationship, we also became good friends. After that, I pursued her for quite a while. Lin Xian's words were the same as what Yi Qianling heard from Xiao Runing. She couldn't find any clues. Speaking of which, I heard that there wasn't enough spiritual energy at the time. You could only send the others out, but you were trapped there, right? Lin Xian nodded. Speaking of which, I was lucky that I didn't die. Yi Qianling was very satisfied with Lin Xian for this reason. In this day and age, a person who dared to sacrifice himself to save others was admirable. There was no problem with his character. At the very least, if the two of them were in danger, he wouldn't abandon his daughter and run away alone. One who survives a great disaster is bound to have good fortune in the future. Lin Xian nodded. That's right. The good fortune is that I managed to get Xiao Ningning. Lin Xian said with a smile. Xiao Runing. Wow. Why did she feel that this bastard's words were quite touching? Yi Qianling nodded in satisfaction. However, she really couldn't be sure if this Lin Xian was her daughter's fake boyfriend. There was another big reason. Her daughter said that she had a boyfriend too suddenly. A few days before the new year, she called Xiao Runing and told her not to come home if she didn't have a boyfriend. At that time, she said that she had a boyfriend. Just a week ago, she had called Xiao Xinyue and asked her if Xiao Runing had a boyfriend, but she had said no. So this was the biggest reason why she was suspicious. Could it really be so coincidental that they only confirmed their relationship a week or two before the new year? Regarding this point, she had asked Xiao Runing about it, but Xiao Runing had not said anything about it. She had said that they had been dating for a very long time, but she had never told anyone about it, including Xiao Xinyue. So there was no flaw in it. Xiao Xinyue had said that she did not have a boyfriend, because she did not know about it. So the only thing that could really clear her doubts was tonight. Her daughter was very conservative. If this Lin Xian wasn't her boyfriend, then they definitely wouldn't be so close. Xiao Runing's acting skills were really off the charts. Although she was scolded by Yi Qianling in various ways, she performed well in small details, such as getting food for Lin Xian, helping Lin Xian get his slippers, and occasionally helping Lin Xian tidy his clothes. She was very much like a little wife. Part of it was acting, but part of it was really natural. These were also things that Yi Qianling paid attention to. If they had really been together for a long time, these small details would definitely be exposed. However, she really couldn't see anything. One of the reasons was that Xiao Runing and Lin Xian were very ambiguous. Xiao Xian, how old are you? After dinner, they sat on the sofa and chatted while drinking tea. Really, they chatted too much today. Lin Xian also learned a lot of little things about Xiao Xinyue and Xiao Runing. For example, Xiao Xinyue used to be disobedient and liked to fight. She even became the big sister of a group of boys at that time. Of course, that was when she was young. To be honest, compared to now, you couldn't imagine how she was like when she was young. If it was Xiao Runing, there was a slight possibility, but with Xiao Xinyue's personality, how could it be possible? Because changing a person's personality was harder than ascending to the heavens. Basically, something that could change a person's life had to happen. Then Lin Xian also knew why Xiao Xinyue became so quiet. Chapter 852. Xiao Xinyue was quite naughty when she was young, but she had a good relationship with her grandmother. Her grandmother practically raised her when she was young. When she was 11, Xiao Xinyue went on an expedition to the demonic beast domain with her friends. However, she wasn't very strong. Her grandmother found out about this and anxiously went to look for Xiao Xinyue. Coincidentally, they were in danger, but Xiao Xinyue's grandmother wasn't very strong either. In the end, she managed to save them, but she died from her injuries. After that incident, Xiao Xinyue's personality changed greatly, because she always felt that she was the one who caused the death of her beloved grandmother. This became the only pain in Xiao Xinyue's heart. When Lin Xian found out about this, he also sighed inwardly. She was indeed responsible for this, but who could say for sure? This kind of thing could really change a person completely. It turned out that she had such a story. Lin Xian looked at Yi Qianling and said, "She's 22 this year." 22. Yi Qianling muttered. "My Ning Ning is almost 25. Isn't that like an old cow eating young grass?" Yi Qianling muttered. Xiao Runing. "Oh, it's fine, it's fine. A girl 3 years older than you is holding a golden brick," Lin Xian said with a smile. "Ha ha ha, that's true. Just don't lose out," Yi Qianling said with a smile. Xiao Runing. Really? She was so unhappy. How could Lin Xian lose out? She was her mother. Shouldn't she be worried about losing out? What do you mean lose out? Little Xian is 3 years younger than you, and you still make him cook? Xiao Runing lowered her head. She felt wronged. Xiao Xinyue shook her head inwardly. What a pitiful woman. I won't chat with you anymore. I'm going to sleep. Xiao Runing then angrily went upstairs. And it's getting late. Little Xian, you should go up and rest too. Auntie, I'll go up first. After saying that, Lin Xian left. I'll go back to my room too, Xiao Xinyue said. You stay here first. Yi Qianling stopped Xiao Xinyue. Xiao Xinyue's face was full of suspicion. Then she sat down again. Let me ask you, is Xiao Xian your sister's fake boyfriend? Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Did they do something wrong? Why do you ask? Of course, it was impossible for Xiao Runing to betray her. In a way, they were in the same boat. If she betrayed her now, Xiao Runing would betray her in the future. It's okay, I'm just asking. After all, the news of your sister finding a boyfriend is too sudden. Although I'm not from the same generation as you, I still know that the children of your generation often use a fake boyfriend or girlfriend as a scapegoat. Yi Qianling said. Mom, where did you learn all this from? Novels and TV dramas. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. I don't know. I haven't known Lin Xian for long. They met in Tianhua City while I was in Linnan City. They only came to Linnan City after Tianhua City fell. It should be normal for them to date in Tianhua City, Xiao Xinyue said. If you don't tell me what you know, I'll post a picture of you wearing diapers when you were a child. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. Wow, so ruthless. I really don't know, Xiao Xinyue said helplessly. Okay, go and rest. Yi Qianling waved her hand. Then, Xiao Xinyue hurried upstairs as if she had been pardoned. Honey, how can there be so many possibilities? I think you're overthinking it. Xiao Xian is a good person. Our daughter gets along well with him. Xiao Zun shook his head helplessly. What do you know? If Xiao Xian is a fake, won't our grandson have to wait a few more years? So I have to confirm it. Yi Qianling muttered. The two kids are already in their room. What else do you want? There's no hurry. What time is it? It's only 8 o'clock. Young people are all-night owls. They sleep late. Lin Xian smiled as he followed Xiao Runing back to the big and beautiful room. Xiao Runing's room was also a relatively young girl's room. Anyway, Lin Xian had discovered that no matter what kind of girl they were, in fact, they all had a young girl's heart hidden in their hearts. Perhaps this was what women were like. Whoosh! Lin Xian kicked off his slippers and jumped onto the huge bed. Bastard! Xiao Runing closed the door and glared at Lin Xian angrily. Hey, why are you scolding me? Lin Xian sat on the bed and looked at Xiao Runing as he asked with a smile on his face. You bastard! You did it on purpose today. Xiao Runing pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily. Who said that? When did I do it on purpose? And it's clearly Auntie who is picking on you, okay? Why don't you go look for Auntie then? Lin Xian stretched and laughed. Humph. Xiao Runing couldn't win against Lin Xian and swallowed her grievances. She was so angry. Get up. Xiao Runing pushed Lin Xian away unhappily and sat on the bed. She crawled under the blanket and took out her phone to play games. Hey, give me some blankets. Go to the wardrobe and get another one. Xiao Runing said unhappily. Okay, you said it. Lin Xian said, and walked to the wardrobe. Xiao Runing suddenly thought of something. Hey, come here. Xiao Runing quickly called out to Lin Xian. What? I'll go get the blankets. Don't. Xiao Runing suddenly thought that if they each had their own bed and quilt, then her mother would come in and see this scene. She would certainly be suspicious. So they could only have one blanket. I don't care, I want to make my own bed, Lin Xian said. Xiao Runing. No need, you can come in. Come in? Lin Xian revealed a smirk. Bastard. Seeing Lin Xian's smirk, Xiao Runing knew that this bastard was thinking of something bad again. Lin Xian then shook his head. I don't care. I'm not coming in. I want to make my own bed. Unless you beg me. Xiao Runing. Get lost. Then Lin Xian walked to the wardrobe and opened it. I beg you, I beg you. Seeing this scene, Xiao Runing wanted to cry but had no tears. Then are you wrong? Wrong. Xiao Runing nodded repeatedly. Then give me a kiss. Lin Xian smiled and moved his face closer. Lin Xian. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian angrily. I'll go get the blanket. Xiao Runing. I'll kiss. Xiao Runing then closed her eyes and smacked Lin Xian's face. Is that enough? Her face was slightly red as she glared at Lin Xian. Hee. Then I'll give you a kiss too. Then Lin Xian leaned over and gave her a kiss. Get lost. Xiao Runing pushed Lin Xian away. Lin Xian crawled into her blanket. It's so warm. Lin Xian sighed deeply. Then his feet under the blanket searched for Xiao Runing's jade feet and rubbed against them. Xiao Runing. What's wrong with you? She glared at Lin Xian. My feet are cold, help me cover them. Xiao Runing. Chapter 853. Xiao Runing was about to go crazy. Her mother did it during the day, and Lin Xian did it at night. She was so miserable. What? You don't look like you're willing? I've traveled a long way to Ice Nation, and the weather here is extremely cold. I'm not used to the cold, and my feet are cold. Can't you help me warm them? How vicious, Lin Xian said aggrieved. Xiao Runing. Wah! She really wanted to beat him up. First of all, the air conditioner was on at home. So how could the temperature in her room be 20 degrees Celsius? How could it be cold? Second of all, you're in the law realm? Third of all, aren't your feet quite warm? He just wanted to take advantage of her. I'll kick you to death. Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. You still want a kiss. Xiao Runing. I can't be bothered with you. Let's play games. Count me in. After about an hour, Yi Qianling came to their door. Seeing that the lights were still on, she knocked on the door, pushed it open and walked in. Lin Xian and Xiao Runing were in the same bed, playing games on their phones. What are you doing? It's so late and you're still awake. Yi Qianling walked in with a smile. We're playing games. Mom, you should go to bed early, Xiao Runing said as she played. Anne, I'll go to bed soon. I brought you a roll of toilet paper. There shouldn't be any in your room, right? After saying that, Yi Qianling put a roll of toilet paper on the bedside table. Xiao Runing. Lin Xian held back his laughter. Ha, how interesting. Thank you, Mom. Xiao Runing said helplessly. Anne, go to bed early. Don't stay up too late. We'll go out for a walk tomorrow morning. I haven't taken little Xian to see the scenery of Ice City yet. Got it, Auntie, Lin Xian said. Yi Qianling then walked out. These two kids shouldn't be pretending, right? Yi Qianling muttered. As an experienced person, she naturally had more experience than them and knew more. In any case, she felt that the two of them were like a couple. No, we'll have to wait and see. Actually, when she entered the room, it seemed like she didn't mean it, but her eyes were always looking at some details, such as whether they were in the same bed, or how close they were to each other. She couldn't see anything for the time being. Auntie, are you trying to see if we're a couple? Lin Xian asked in a low voice. Xiao Runing nodded. Yes, I don't know if my mother suspects anything. Xiao Runing silently closed the 0 to 13 game and threw the phone aside. Then she lay there with her back facing Lin Xian. I'm going to sleep. Then I will sleep too. Lin Xian then turned off the lights and snuggled under the blanket. His hand went under Xiao Runing's body. What are you doing? Xiao Runing said angrily. Hugging you, of course. What else can I do? When Auntie comes in and sees us sleeping separately, won't she be suspicious? Lin Xian said in a reasonable manner. No, we'll talk about it when the time comes. Then it's up to you. I'll go get a new blanket. Lin Xian muttered. Xiao Runing. Ah. She lost. Then, she weakly snuggled into Lin Xian's arms, and rested her head on Lin Xian's arm. Are you satisfied? Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Lin Xian sniffed her hair hard. It smells so good. I miss the sun. Xiao Runing. Go to hell. They had been too ambiguous before, and had done a lot of ambiguous things. Although Xiao Runing was very shy, but she had slowly adapted a lot compared to before. Do you want to make some noise? Lin Xian asked softly. Huh? Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian in confusion. What if Auntie is eavesdropping outside? You have to scream. Xiao Runing. I'll scream your sister. Really? Today? She had vented all the anger she had accumulated over the past year. But what if you don't scream? If Auntie finds out tomorrow that we didn't do it, she'll be angry at you. Xiao Runing blushed. This bastard. Get lost, she said in annoyance. Knock knock knock. At this moment, someone knocked on their door. Ning Ning, are you asleep? Xiao Runing. Not yet, Mom. What's the matter? Xiao Runing felt a headache coming on. Nothing. If you're not asleep, open the door. I'll bring you a glass of milk. Coming. Xiao Runing turned on the lights, and walked over to open the door. Yi Qianling walked in with a glass of milk. Come Xian. Drink a glass of milk before bed. It'll help you sleep. Yi Qianling handed the glass of milk to Lin Xian with a smile. Thank you, Auntie. Lin Xian took it and said. Auntie, you should go to bed early. And then if you want to sleep then sleep. I won't disturb you. Also it's not cold here. Didn't Ning Ning bring you pajamas? It's not comfortable to sleep in a sweater. Take it off. Okay, Auntie. Okay. Go to sleep. I won't disturb you. Yi Qianling walked out with a smile. Oh, Auntie is so nice. She warmed up a glass of milk in the middle of the night. I'm so touched. Lin Xian held the glass of milk with both hands and said happily. Xiao Runing. The worst thing was that her mother brought the milk and gave it to Lin Xian alone. Couldn't she have warmed up a glass for her too? Was she really her daughter? Give it to me. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian with jealousy and reached out her hand. What? Xiao Runing snatched Lin Xian's milk and gulped it down. Damn. Auntie prepared this milk for me. Lin Xian said unhappily. Humph. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian proudly. She turned off the lights and crawled under the covers in satisfaction. Comfortable. Lin Xian shrugged. He wouldn't lower himself to her level. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Come into your husband's arms. On the other side, Yi Qianling returned to her room. Where did you go? Xiao Zun sat on the bed and asked while reading a book. To bring a glass of milk to Xiao Xian. The two of them are in the same room. Why did you disturb them again and again? Didn't you just say that Xiao Xian should be our daughter's boyfriend? Xiao Zun said helplessly. Although there was indeed a possibility that Lin Xian was pretending to be her boyfriend, from what he could see, the two of them behaved very intimately and were very normal. There was no element of deliberate acting, so he felt that Lin Xian should be her real boyfriend. Yi Qianling sat on the bed and said, Can't I go and supervise them? You don't know. Xiao Xian is still wearing a sweater to sleep. Our daughter didn't bring him any pajamas. Our daughter should have male pajamas in her room. That's why they're still like this even though the lights are off. They might not do anything tonight. What did you do? Xiao Zun felt that something was wrong. Yi Qianling smiled and said, I asked Xiao Ro to go to the pharmacy and buy that. What? That thing that I occasionally give you to eat. Xiao Zun. Chapter 854. Really? He wanted to curse. What does it have to do with you whether they do it or not? If they want to do it, then forget it. What did she give him? Aphrodisiac. It wasn't exactly an aphrodisiac, but more or less, it would greatly increase the user's sexual desire. He, Xiao Zun, was usually very tired from work, but this woman was like a wolf. Sometimes he didn't even want to do that at night. Therefore, Yi Qianling secretly put some of that in his tea, and then he didn't expect her to. Sigh. It won't be good if this gets out. So what? Anyway, no one will find out. Did you find out when I gave it to you? You didn't find out until I told you. Also, I usually only put 1 tablet, but this time, I put 4 tablets in the milk. Tonight, our daughter must have a baby for us. Xiaozun. Go to sleep, silly old woman. Xiaozun was furious. In the room, Lin Xian was happily hugging Xiao Runing's delicate body, smelling her fragrance. He couldn't be more satisfied. But it was a bit torturous. Lin Xian, why don't you turn off the air conditioner? Xiao Runing opened her beautiful eyes and suddenly said in a soft voice. Why? It's a bit hot. She tugged at her pajamas unconsciously. Lin Xian scratched his head and turned off the air conditioner. I want a kiss. Then Lin Xian said with a smile. Go to hell. Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. I don't care, I want a kiss. Then Lin Xian directly kissed her. This time it wasn't her face. MMM. Xiao Runing's beautiful eyes widened. Her hands subconsciously hit Lin Xian. But Lin Xian didn't let go. If he didn't take advantage of her now, when would he? Gradually, Xiao Runing's entire body lost its strength. Lin Xian also became more and more unbridled. His hand even reached out to the sacred part of Xiao Runing's body that he had never touched before. What puzzled Lin Xian the most was that she didn't reject him. She really didn't reject him. Holy shit. Is yours truly so charming now? Lin Xian thought to himself. Then he was too lazy to think about it anymore. He took advantage of Xiao Runing to his heart's content. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Lin Xian had already been honest with her. Lin Xian. Really? He felt that it was very strange. How did he manage to push down Xiao Runing for no reason? Ding. Successfully pushed down Xiao Jiejie. Prince Charming points plus 100,000 0. Ding. Prince Charming points plus 50,000 0. Ding. Outside Xiao Runing's room, Yi Qianling's ears were pressed against the door as she listened to the movements inside. Her eyes were shining. Aren't you going to give me a baby now? Then, Yi Qianling walked back to her room in satisfaction. The next morning, Lin Xian opened his eyes with a whoosh. Looking at Xiao Runing in his arms, he began to doubt his life. Something was wrong. He had originally come over to take advantage of her. So how could he push her away? And Xiao Runing was also very strange last night. Lin Xian felt that it was extremely strange. Their relationship was good, but it definitely wasn't to the point where he could push down Xiao Runing. But last night, she actually took the initiative. Holy shit. Since the girl took the initiative, how could Lin Xian think too much about it? He took advantage of the situation, and even received a lot of Prince Charming points. Sigh. Having too much charm is really a sin. Lin Xian sighed. In his arms, Xiao Runing's long eyelashes trembled slightly. Then she slowly opened her eyes. And then, she was in a mess. Last night's memory was very clear. It wasn't because she was drunk or anything. She clearly knew what she was doing, but she also clearly knew that she was taking the initiative. God, why was that? After opening her eyes, she couldn't figure it out. That was impossible. Was Lin Xian really that charming? You're awake? Seeing Xiao Runing open her eyes and let her imagination run wild, Lin Xian asked. Ouch! In the next second Lin Xian cried out. Xiao Runing twisted a piece of his flesh, and then turned it 180 degrees. Bastard! She pushed Lin Xian away, then gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. Hey, how am I a bastard? Last night, I just wanted to kiss you. You took my hand and sent it to your body. Then, before Lin Xian could finish, he was interrupted by Xiao Runing with a red face. Go die. Okay, I won't say anything. Lin Xian shut his mouth. Xiao Runing was really messed up. How did he lose his mind in such a muddle-headed manner? Xiao Xian Ning, are you awake? Lin Xian's mother-in-law Yi Qianling's voice came from outside. Xiao Runing's body tensed up. Then she gave Lin Xian a look. Auntie, we just woke up. If you're awake, then get up and eat breakfast. Okay, Auntie. Then Yi Qianling walked away. You go out first. Then what are you doing? I'm going to hide the bedsheet. Xiao Runing said helplessly. There were definitely bloodstains on the bedsheet. It wouldn't be good if her mother saw it. Lin Xian tried to hold back his laughter. You're still laughing. Nothing happened between us. We didn't do anything. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. Honey, you have to be good. Lin Xian then smiled and went into the bathroom to take a shower. Xiao Runing then lay there, doubting her life. It was very uncomfortable, but she wasn't angry, because she knew that she was the one who took the initiative last night. She was just imagining things. Why? Her chastity was gone. It was very uncomfortable, but there was no turning back now. Bastard, bastard, bastard. Xiao Runing kept hitting the pillow to vent. Mushroom. What a loss. Lin Xian walked out naked. You. Xiao Runing saw him like this and blushed. What? There's no towel. Lin Xian then used his fire attribute energy to dry the water and put on his clothes. You rest first. I'll tell Auntie that it's not convenient for you. Lin Xian walked out after he finished speaking. Phew. Xiao Runing took a deep breath and rushed into the bathroom to take a shower. When she came out, she saw the bloodstains and doubted her life. She then quickly put away the bedsheet. Xiao Xian, did you sleep well last night? In the living room, Yi Qianling and Lin Xian were eating breakfast. Xiao Xinyue accompanied Xiao Zun to do something early in the morning. Pretty good. Lin Xian said with a smile. How was it? Can you let Ning Ning get pregnant this time? Lin Xian. That? You have to know that Auntie put 4 pills in the glass of milk she gave you last night. The effects of the pills should be at least 3 times. Lin Xian. Xiao Runing had just walked down when she suddenly heard Yi Qianling's words. She was stunned and completely confused. Oh my God. My dear mother. My dear mother. It's all your fault. You gave your daughter away. Ah! Chapter 855. Originally, Xiao Runing was really puzzled. Why did she take the initiative last night? Now she understood. Everything was clear. It was this biological mother who did it. Originally, she was extremely unhappy, but now, it wasn't Lin Xian's fault. It was her. If she hadn't snatched the milk that Yi Qianling had given to Lin Xian last night, things wouldn't have turned out like this. Sob, sob, sob. She was so pitiful. Lin Xian really wanted to give this mother-in-law a thumbs up from the bottom of his heart. Amazing. Too amazing. With such a mother-in-law, wouldn't picking up girls be a piece of cake? Ning Ning, you're here too. Come and have breakfast. Yi Qianling waved at Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing walked over with a wry smile. Mom, can you be more serious? How old are you already? Why are you still using this kind of thing? Xiao Runing was angry, embarrassed and helpless. At this point, what else could she say? What? You didn't care enough, and didn't give me a grandson. Now you're blaming me? No, it's just Aya. Xiao Runing ate her breakfast helplessly. Lin Xian was holding back his laughter the whole time. If there were such mothers-in-law everywhere in the world, wouldn't it be heaven everywhere? Your dad and sister are busy outside. In the morning, we'll take Xiao Xian around Ice City. Tonight, we'll go to the palace for the banquet. Oh, got it. Xiao Runing mumbled. Go change your clothes after breakfast. I'll go upstairs to change first. With that, Yi Qianling walked away. You're still laughing. Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian angrily. Xiao Ningning, you can't blame me for this. But I'll take responsibility for you. Lin Xian said. Scram. Xiao Runing said angrily. I'm serious. I'll take responsibility for you. Nothing happened between us. We didn't do anything. Xiao Runing said. Why deceive yourself? Lin Xian mumbled. Scram. Okay. Nothing happened between us. We didn't do anything. Lin Xian shrugged. Fortunately, when Xiao Runing's mission was triggered, they would already have this relationship. At that time, it should be easy to get it with a little effort. However, Lin Xian would definitely maintain a close relationship with her. Xiao Runing felt very helpless. For almost the entire day, Lin Xian, Xiao Runing, and Yi Qianling strolled around the ice capital. Xiao Runing's mood gradually improved. The sky slowly darkened. Only then did they return home. In the living room, Xiao Xinyue and Xiao Zun were sitting there reading a magazine. Why haven't you changed your clothes? Yi Qianling glanced at them and asked. You guys went out to play for a whole day, and you're not in a hurry. So why should we be? Xiao Zun said. He was a little jealous. They said they would come back at noon. But they didn't wait, and left them alone. Xiao Xinyue nodded. Okay. I bought you a set of clothes. Yi Qianling threw the clothes to Xiao Zun. You bought it especially for me? Of course. Xiao Zun smiled. He was very easy to satisfy. Then what are those big and small bags you're carrying? He then asked another question. Oh, I bought it for Xiao Xian. Xiao Zun. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Father-in-law, I'm sorry. I'm so popular now. Don't be so serious. Why are you jealous of the child? Do you lack clothes? Xiao Xian only brought a set of clothes. Don't you have to buy more? Moreover, you're not the worst. Who's the worst? Xinyue. No one bought clothes for her. Yi Qianling said. Xiao Xinyue. Lin Xian held back his laughter. Interesting. Xiao Xinyue said indifferently, no need. I can buy it myself. That's why I didn't plan to buy it for you. Xiao Xinyue. Xiao Xian. You and Ning Ning go to the room and change. You guys go change too. Okay. Then Lin Xian and Xiao Runing returned to the room. Wife, help your husband undress. Lin Xian opened his arms and said to Xiao Runing. Scram. Xiao Runing said in annoyance. You're not giving me any face at all. I'm your boyfriend tonight. It's hard for me to continue acting like this. Lin Xian sighed. Xiao Runing. Big brother, you already did that to me. You're still not satisfied. Xiao Runing roared in her heart. Wear it yourself. Seriously. Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. All right. I'll watch you change before putting it on. Lin Xian said with a grin. Xiao Runing. Scram. Go outside. Wait for me to change before coming back in. You've changed. You wouldn't yell at me in the past. Lin Xian said, feeling wronged. Yes, in the past, Xiao Runing wouldn't yell at Lin Xian. She had never even told Lin Xian to scram. But this time, when Lin Xian came to Ice City, she really couldn't hold it in. This guy was too infuriating. In fact, Lin Xian also knew that this was a way for her to find out the grievances in her heart. She was a pure and innocent girl. And yet she was tricked by her own mother? Then can you go out first? No. Lin Xian shook his head. You. Think about it. Auntie asked us to change. If I go out, won't Auntie know that our relationship isn't that close? If I have to come out after you change, won't we be exposed? Xiao Runing. That made sense. But why did she feel that he was actually taking advantage of her? Then go to the bathroom and wait. I'll tell you when I'm done. Okay. Lin Xian shrugged and walked to the bathroom. The door is closed. Xiao Runing shouted. Bang. Then, she took a deep breath and slowly unbuttoned her clothes. She changed into the grand attire in her wardrobe for such a big occasion. After about 15 minutes, she breathed a sigh of relief. She looked especially beautiful in her light blue dress. She didn't need any makeup, because she was really exquisite. She couldn't help but be intoxicated by her own reflection in the mirror. Unfortunately, that bastard took advantage of her. The most important reason why girls took a long time to go out was because of makeup. But without makeup, she saved a lot of time. Her temperament was very suitable for white and blue. I'm done. You go out. Xiao Runing said as she turned around. Then, she stopped talking because she saw Lin Xian's head poking out. The two of them stared at each other. You. Xiao Runing pointed at Lin Xian. She was so embarrassed and angry that she couldn't say anything. When did this bastard peek at her? Don't misunderstand. I just opened the door. I was thinking that it's been 15 minutes. You should be done by now. It's really a coincidence. Really? Xiao Runing didn't quite believe it. I swear. Lin Xian said. Forget it. Go get changed. Swear? What's the use of swearing? Lin Xian thought to himself. Then, he silently glanced at his Adonis points that had increased by 1 million. He was delighted. Chapter 856. 5 minutes later, Lin Xian changed into a well-ironed suit. To be honest, Lin Xian didn't remember wearing a suit before. It was too uncomfortable. Casual wear was comfortable. However, this was an important occasion. It wasn't a place to pretend to be weak. If he went in wearing casual wear, he would be scolded to death. How is it? Is your husband handsome? Lin Xian stood in front of Xiao Runing and walked in a circle. So. Xiao Runing glanced at Lin Xian and mumbled. Suddenly, She thought of something and her beautiful face turned red. Get lost. Whose husband are you? Lin Xian grinned and hugged her slim waist. But you have to call me that tonight. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian and slapped Lin Xian's hand away. Let's go down. Hee hee, you're so beautiful. Lin Xian said with a grin. Xiao Runing. She was angry, embarrassed, and a little proud. Disregarding everything else, her looks and figure were still very good. Especially when she dressed up delicately, wearing earrings, a necklace, and a beautiful and elegant dress. TSK. Don't talk. Lin Xian then shut his mouth. The two of them went downstairs. Xiao Xinyue had also changed into a new set of clothes. The two sisters, one in blue and one in white, would definitely be the focus of the party. They were too beautiful. It wasn't that they were too affectionate. It was just that their sister-in-law was too charming. Little Xian, a suit suits you. So handsome. Yi Qianling couldn't help but praise Lin Xian when she saw him in a formal suit. The more she looked at him, the more satisfied she was. Auntie is also very beautiful. When Auntie stands with Xiao Ningning and Xinyue, people who don't know you would think that you're sisters. Lin Xian laughed. Ha ha ha, little Xian, you're too good with words. But I think it makes sense. Then Yi Qianling and Lin Xian high-fived. Bootlicker. Xiao Runing couldn't help but mutter. What? Could it be that you think little Xian is wrong? Do you think I'm old? Yi Qianling glared at Xiao Runing. And no such thing. Xiao Runing said, feeling wronged. As expected, when a daughter grows up, she doesn't want her mother anymore. Yi Qianling said with a sigh. Mom, what are you talking about? Xiao Runing hugged Yi Qianling and acted like a spoiled child. If you didn't have such good genes, you wouldn't have been able to give birth to beautiful daughters like me and Xinyue, right? That's true. Cough cough cough. Xiao Zun coughed dryly, indicating that his genes were also very important. If it weren't for your father, you would definitely be prettier. Xiao Zun. It's time to go. Xiao Xinyue said. Let's go, it's getting late. Then the five of them got into a business car, with a special driver to help them drive. About half an hour later, the car stopped in front of a huge palace. It was very beautiful. It really gave off the feeling of a palace. It was a place that even a manor couldn't compare to. There were already many cars parked in front of the door. All of them were King luxurious cars. One after another, men and women in formal clothes walked in. How many people are there? Lin Xian couldn't help but exclaim. In total, there are more than 1,000 people. They are all famous people in Bing City. It's just like a grand party. Xiao Runing explained to Lin Xian. Can I pick up girls? Lin Xian asked in a low voice. Xiao Runing. Up to you. She said angrily. Hee hee. Walking to the entrance of the palace, Xiao Zun took out the invitation. Mr. Xiao, everyone please come in. Only after walking into the imperial palace did Lin Xian realize just how old-fashioned he was. Isn't this 2F** King luxurious? Xiao Runing held onto Lin Xian's arm the whole time. Many people looked at them, and many passers-by took the initiative to greet them. After all, the Xiao family's status was here. Uncle Xiao, Auntie Yi, Happy New Year. A man in a suit walked over with a glass of red wine in his hand, and said with a smile. Jiming, Happy New Year. Yi Qianling said with a smile. Su Jiming nodded slightly, and looked at Xiao Runing and Xiao Xinyue. When he saw Xiao Runing holding onto a boy, he couldn't help but frown. Then he said with a smile. Ning Ning, Xinyue, long time no see. You're getting more and more beautiful. Long time no see. Xiao Xinyue nodded slightly. This is... Lin Xian smiled and stretched out his hand. Lin Xian, Ning Ning's boyfriend. Su Jiming, nice to meet you. The two shook hands, and then Su Jiming said, Uncle Xiao, my father wants to talk to you about something. Well, I also have something to talk to him about. Let's go. Yi Qianling then said to Lin Xian and the others. You guys go around and meet new friends. Ning Ning, Xinyue. You guys are often not at home. So many of your friends are unfamiliar. You should build more relationships with your family. It will be useful in the future. I'll chat with your father. Okay. Then they walked away. Who's Su Jiming? I feel like he's not very friendly to me. Lin Xian said. Why is he not friendly? Xiao Runing asked. I feel like he used too much strength when shaking hands. He's my sister's admirer. If my sister didn't find a boyfriend, my mother planned to arrange a blind date for them this year. Lin Xian. No wonder, no wonder. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. It's not really a blind date. Oh right, it's called a blind date if they don't know each other. It's just to confirm their relationship. Xiao Xinyue nodded and said honestly. Then won't he hate me? Does that mean I'm breaking up with you? Lin Xian asked Xiao Runing with a smile. You just need to be a shield tonight. Don't say anything, don't ask anything. Xiao Runing said. Then sister-in-law, do you want me to protect you at the same time? Lin Xian looked at Xiao Xinyue with a smile. No need. Xiao Xinyue replied indifferently. No, you have to. As a man, you have to protect a woman. Leave it to me. With these two girls' looks and status, there were definitely a lot of people who admired them. Because Lin Xian could already feel the gazes of the people around them. They were chatting with each other. The adults had their own circle of adults, and the children had their own circle of children. However, when they were chatting, they would occasionally glance over. Although it seemed like they didn't care, they actually cared. Just as they were chatting, a few guys walked over with smiles on their faces. Xinyue, long time no see. Want to have a drink? A guy handed Xiao Xinyue a glass of red wine. Thank you, but I don't drink. Xiao Xinyue declined. What about you, Ningning? Xiao Runing then looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled and said, I'm sorry, brother Ha. Ningning is pregnant, so she can't drink. I'll drink for her. Xiao Runing. Damn it. Chapter 857. The man froze for a moment. Brother, you are. Lin Xian, her boyfriend. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry, I didn't know, so I'm sorry. Lin Xian smiled, and then they walked away. What nonsense are you talking about? Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian. Isn't this once and for all? When the time comes, they will casually spread the news that you are pregnant, and no one will come to invite you to drink. It will save a lot of trouble, Lin Xian said with a very reasonable expression. That was the reason. Let's go and eat something. We haven't eaten yet. There will be a lot of food that can only be eaten in our ice country. I recommend you to try it. Xiao Runing said to Lin Xian. Sure. Then Xiao Runing held Lin Xian's arm and walked forward with the third wheel Xiao Xinyue. During this time, there were a lot of people who came to strike up a conversation, but when they saw Lin Xian's presence, they were all rejected. Thinking about it, they felt quite helpless. Yes, wasn't it normal for Xiao Runing to have a boyfriend? Especially when her parents were so anxious. It was a pity that she wasn't in Ice City, otherwise they would have a great chance. However, Xiao Runing had a boyfriend, but Xiao Xinyue didn't. There were also a lot of people who liked Xiao Xinyue. Hello Xinyue, long time no see. Two beautiful girls ran over. They were both very beautiful, but to be honest, there was still a gap between them and Xiao Runing. Long time no see. Xiao Xinyue waved at them. Her mood was clearly different from that of a boy. Hello Sister Ningning. They also said to Xiao Runing with a smile. And you've grown taller. Xiao Runing smiled. How can that be? Sister Ningning is taller with long legs. This is... A beautiful girl looked at Lin Xian. I'm the long-legged boyfriend. Lin Xian smiled. Wow. Sister Ningning, you finally found a boyfriend. So you're not. One of the girls hurriedly covered her mouth and almost spilled the beans. Not what? Lin Xian asked with interest. It's nothing. We'll leave first, bye-bye. Then they quickly ran away. What do you mean? Lin Xian looked at Xiao Runing. It's none of your business. Eat. Xiao Runing then gave Lin Xian a piece of ice. Here. Lin Xian. You want me to eat ice? How ruthless. This is a specialty of our ice country. It looks like ordinary ice. Try it and you'll know. Lin Xian took it with interest and put it in his mouth. Crack. Isn't this just F*King normal ice? Yes. Xiao Runing revealed an evil grin, as if her scheme had succeeded. Lin Xian. F*CK. I've been played by this girl. Xiao Runing felt carefree. She felt that the unhappiness of the past 2 days had disappeared. Let's go. I'll bring you to see your grandparents. Xiao Runing said. Okay. Then. Xiao Runing brought Lin Xian to the largest and most luxurious palace. This was not something an ordinary villa could compare to. Those who came were all outside. Although it was cold, which one of them wasn't a noble? Which one of them didn't have cultivation? The so-called cold actually didn't matter. On the contrary, it was very spacious outside. With a bit of dressing up, coupled with the starlight and moonlight, it was especially beautiful. This hall was only for those who were special. At least, that was the case at this time. Right now there were some powerful family patriarchs, people like Xiao Zun, the Emperor of Ice Country, the little princess, and their trusted aides inside. At this moment, Su Jiming walked to a corner and looked at Lin Xian, who was walking into the hall. Xiao Runing was a woman he had admired for a long time. His Su family was as big as the Xiao family in Ice Country. As a family of the same level, he felt that he was worthy of Xiao Runing. He was also willing to wait. In any case, Xiao Runing was definitely qualified to make him satisfied as his wife. Even before the new year, when he went to the Xiao family as a guest, he mentioned Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing's mother even wanted to matchmake them. But he didn't expect that she would come back with her boyfriend this time. He didn't know how far they had developed, but he was unwilling, extremely unwilling. Even if he couldn't get her, he still wanted to break them up. He just couldn't stand other men having a woman he liked. At worst, he would make a move on her sister Xiao Xingyue. After all, she was also a peerless beauty. Each of them had their own temperament. Young Master Su, why are you drinking alone? At this time, a man walked over with a smile. Young Master Qin, what can I do for you? Su Jiming downed the red wine in one gulp. The Qin family was another top family in Ice Country. Qin Ming and Su Jiming were both top geniuses in Ice Country. They were existences that others admired. The two of them were not only rivals but also friends. Nothing much. I just heard that Xiao Runing is pregnant. Crack. The red wine glass in Su Jiming's hand was directly crushed. It didn't matter if he couldn't get this woman. There was still Xiao Xingyue. But what made him unhappy was that if he couldn't get her, why could someone else? Qin Ming smiled and said, her boyfriend seems to be from a third-tier city in Hua Nation. Xiao Runing seems to have gone to the third-tier city Tianhua City. That means she found her boyfriend in Tianhua City. TSK. I'm just lamenting. Young Master Su is such an outstanding man. But why didn't she choose him? Instead, she chose a very ordinary person in a third-tier city. Are you sure? Su Jiming looked at him. Of course. Even if it's the young master of the biggest family in a third-tier city, what ability can he have? Sigh, I'm just lamenting. I guess it's because I've known her for a long time. To be honest, I'm also very angry. After all, Xiao Runing is a famous beauty in Ice Country. I also admire her. What a pity. Qin Ming sighed. Young Master Qin, why don't we investigate that person's background? It's useless. What's the point of investigating? Xiao Runing is pregnant. It's a fact. The only thing we can do is to beat him, and let Xiao Runing and everyone else know how big the gap between us is. That's enough. Qin Ming said. Su Jiming nodded. This was actually what he wanted to do. It was a fact that Xiao Runing already had a boyfriend. However, she also had an equally beautiful sister, Xiao Runing. Her sister had found a boyfriend. If he could completely beat Xiao Runing's boyfriend in front of everyone and crush him, then in Xiao Runing's eyes, he would be much more outstanding than her sister's boyfriend. Everyone likes to compare with each other, even if they are sisters. My boyfriend is better than your boyfriend, so it might be easier to pursue. This was actually an idea that came to Su Jiming's mind when he saw Xiao Runing and Lin Xian. He felt that it was absolutely feasible. And then that's it. Su Jiming nodded and walked away. He couldn't tell Qin Ming this idea. Chapter 858. Xiao Runing led Lin Xian into the main hall. Xiao Runing's grandparents had quite a special status in the imperial palace. Clearly, Xiao Runing could enter and leave this place as she pleased. After entering, Lin Xian glanced around. All of them were amazing people. Just by sitting there and standing there, one could tell with a glance that they weren't ordinary people. They were also chatting and laughing. It was as if the outside was a gathering, and the inside was also a gathering. It was a gathering of people of two different statuses. However, that wasn't the case. They were just following the international convention of exchanging pleasantries. The entrance of Lin Xian and the others naturally attracted their attention. Oh, isn't this Ning Ning and Xingyue? They're really getting more and more beautiful. So it's Ning Ning and Xingyue. Come here, let me see how tall you've grown. This brat can't be Ning Ning's boyfriend, right? Obviously, Xiao Ru Ning and Xiao Xingyue had a very big reputation in Bing City. After all, they were the two daughters of the top families. Moreover, they were also very beautiful. It was estimated that in their hearts, these people were hoping that their sons would be able to reach an agreement with them. Xiao Runing and Xiao Xingyue helplessly chatted with these elders. Then they finally found an opportunity. Xiao Runing pulled Lin Xian in front of her grandparents. Right now their general cultivation was pretty good. Xiao Runing's grandparents should be close to 70 years old. However, they looked like they were in their 40s or 50s. Grandpa, Grandma, this is Lin Xian that I mentioned to you before. Xiao Runing said with a slightly red face. Good. You finally brought my grandson-in-law home. Xiao Qingqing looked at Lin Xian and nodded with satisfaction. Hello, Grandpa, Grandma. Lin Xian obediently called out. Lan Mei waved at Lin Xian. Child, come here. Lin Xian then walked over shyly. To be honest, he was actually quite embarrassed. Everyone around him was amazing, and at this moment, their attention was all on him. His every move was being watched by others. Lan Mei grabbed Lin Xian's hand. You have a unique bone structure. Since my granddaughter has taken a fancy to you, you must have something outstanding about you. Lan Mei smiled at Lin Xian. Lin Xian scratched his head. Grandma, you flatter me. Ha ha ha. At this time, a middle-aged man smiled as he looked at Lin Xian and said, As her uncle, I have nothing to do. Xiao Zun, this is your fault. Why didn't you tell me that Ning Ning's boyfriend was coming? The dignified middle-aged man smiled and said. Xiao Zun smiled and said, It's just a small matter. I don't want to trouble you all. Are you treating us as outsiders? Lan Tianhai smiled. Second brother Lan, you must be joking. How can a family treat you as an outsider? Lan Tianhai then looked at Lin Xian and said, When you and Ning Ning officially have a banquet, I will definitely give you a big gift. Why aren't you thanking your Uncle Lan? Xiao Zun said to Lin Xian. Thank you, Uncle Lan. Lin Xian glanced at Lan Tianhai. This Lan Tianhai should be the master of this imperial palace. Dad. At this moment a sweet voice was heard. Then a girl in a blue dress ran out. She seemed to be about the same age as Miao Xiao Miao. No, she was even younger. Around 12 years old. But she was really beautiful and delicate like a porcelain doll, a little fairy. No wonder she didn't trigger a mission. Although she was so beautiful, she was too young. If she triggered a mission at such a young age, it would be too exaggerated. Her appearance caused the surroundings to be filled with a youthful vigor. My good daughter. Lan Tianhai hugged her and rubbed his face against her face lovingly. Ugh, prickly. Lan Xingxing pushed him away in disgust. Ha ha ha. The surrounding people couldn't help but laugh. Then the girl blinked her big eyes and looked around. Suddenly, she saw Xiao Runing and Xiao Xingyue. Sister Ning Ning. Her big eyes were filled with little stars. Then, she happily ran to Xiao Runing and hugged Xiao Runing. Sister Ning Ning, you're finally back. Xingxing missed you so much. Lan Xingxing said with grievance. I've been back for a few days, but I didn't have time to come and see you. Xiao Runing smiled as she rubbed her little head and said in a pampering tone. Humph. You don't like Xingxing anymore. Lan Xingxing pouted and said. Yeah, your sister Ning Ning has a boyfriend. She must have put all her thoughts on her boyfriend. Lan Tianhai laughed. Ah, boyfriend? Is it the kind of boyfriend who can have children? Lan Xingxing blinked her big eyes and asked. Yeah. Then, her little mouth pouted again. Her big eyes looked for Xiao Runing's boyfriend. Then, she saw Lin Xian in front of Lan Mei. She ran over and tugged at Lin Xian's clothes. Lin Xian looked at her. Are you Sister Ning Ning's boyfriend? She asked in a charming voice. How did you know? Am I too handsome? Lin Xian teased. No, you're the worst. Lin Xian. Ha ha ha. Hearing her words, The surrounding people couldn't help but laugh. Little Xian, don't mind her. She's just a child. She has a good relationship with Ning Ning. She once said that she would protect Ning Ning forever. Lan Tianhai said with a smile. Lin Xian. But if you protect Ning Ning forever, who will protect you forever? Lin Xian asked Lan Xingxing with a smile. Sister Ning Ning. Then I can protect your sister Ning Ning forever. Your sister Ning Ning can protect you forever. You can also continue to protect sister Ning Ning. At the same time, I can also protect you forever. So why do you hate me? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Oh, Lan Xingxing blinked her big eyes. It had seemed to make sense. Then why do I hate him? Am I right? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Oh yes. Then do you still hate me? Lan Xingxing shook her little head. I don't hate you anymore. The surrounding people couldn't help but laugh. This was really interesting. Ning Ning's boyfriend is quite interesting. I believe he must have some outstanding points. Not to mention other things, Ning Ning's taste isn't bad. Lan Tianhai said to Lan Mei. It doesn't matter if he's outstanding or not. With the Xiao family's protection, there's nothing to worry about. The main thing is that Ning Ning likes him. That's enough. Xiao Runing's grandfather Xiao Qingqing said with a smile. At this time, Lan Tianhai stood up and said, Everyone, it's about time. Let's go out and start the banquet. There's also the annual poetry gathering later. Okay. Then everyone rushed out. Chapter 859. The banquet lasted for about an hour. There wasn't much meaning to it. It was just eating and drinking, just like any other ordinary gathering. However, the imperial palace's gathering was an important part of maintaining the relationship between the major families and the major powers. It was an opportunity for everyone to interact with each other. Here Lin Xian could deeply feel the harmony between the major families. It was definitely something that couldn't be felt in Tiandu or China. Perhaps there were also open and covert struggles between the major families, but the relationship between them was definitely much better than in China. Perhaps this was one of the more outstanding aspects of the imperial palace. Everyone was more united and harmonious. Only in such an environment could the Xiao family not dislike Lin Xian's background at all. Of course, that was only relatively speaking. Lin Xian also made a lot of friends, but they weren't really friends. They just exchanged a few pleasantries. Most of them came to hit on Xiao Xinyue. Lin Xian didn't remember many of them. Everyone, now that everyone has eaten and drunk to their fill, let's enter the house and begin the poetry and prose segment. Lan Tianhai said to the crowd. Then, they walked into the huge palace one after another. Poetry and prose? What for? Lin Xian's face was full of suspicion. Xiao Runing's grandfather, Lin Xian, said, In our ice country, it's the only country that advocates poetry and prose, because this is an era where strength is respected. However, our ice country's ancestors told us not to forget about our cultural heritage. To us, poetry and prose are a part of our culture. Therefore, in any city in our ice country, in addition to increasing one's strength, a martial artist must also have some attainments in poetry and prose. If one can reach the elite level in both aspects, then any girl from any family will be more likely to be accepted by the elders. So that's how it is. Lin Xian was suddenly enlightened. This was actually quite good. Just like China, there were very few places for people to study. Wasn't it all about learning martial arts? How many schools were there to learn the 9 subjects? How many people were willing to spend time and energy learning the 9 subjects in this era? This led to more and more illiterates. Was this a good thing? Absolutely not. This would only result in the deterioration of the generations. That's right, if everyone's strength increased, then who would be responsible for the change of era? Where would talents come from if they didn't study? Who would create it? Who would invent it? He didn't even know the most basic chemical equations or physics formulas. How could he make this era better? In this way, thousands of years later, the entire era would still be the same. A few hundred years ago, planet Sky Blue did not have any technology. It was similar to the ancient times. Because people were knowledgeable, in just a few hundred years, there were airplanes, cannons, cell phones, WeChat, and everything else. If they did not learn, Without that group of people, 100 years, 300 years, even 500 years later, they would still be the same. It was not a good thing. Therefore, Lin Xian felt that this aspect was quite good. Moreover, it's different from China. Every academy and every city in Ice Country has a place to study the 9 subjects. If you can't pass the cutoff, the academy won't let you cultivate in the Sky Martial Court. This is mandatory. Although China also has a place to study the 9 subjects, it's up to you whether you want to go or not. This is a substantial difference. Xiao Runing said. Lin Xian. So Ice Country is stronger than China? That's not right. Xiao Qingqing then said. China has been established for a longer time and has a wider territory. The most important reason is that China has 4 distinct seasons. The 4 distinct seasons give us a lot of advantages over Ice Country. Our Ice Country can't compare to China in terms of national strength, but in terms of technology and some things that have been passed down, we can indeed leave China in the dust. Lin Xian agreed with this point. In China, when had Lin Xian ever seen a poetry gathering? That was impossible. Maybe Ning Ming likes to be a teacher, because she was influenced by this. Xiao Qingqing was very satisfied with his granddaughter's choice. Although she might not have a high status, she did something that many people were not willing to do. Then in Ice Country, if you are smart and have a certain level of attainment in literature, you don't need to be very strong to have a high status? Lin Xian asked. Xiao Runing nodded. That's of course. It may not even be lower than those powerhouses of the Empyrean realm. Let's not talk about scientific research first. Just take tonight's poetry gathering for example. If anyone can create a poem that can be passed down through the ages, then they will be revered by many people, because most of the young men and women here may not necessarily like it, but they all have some attainments in this aspect, especially my uncle who is very supportive of this aspect. If you can get his approval, then even at such a young age you can be promoted to an official. But how can it be so easy? So you and Xinyue are actually quite good in this area? Xiao Runing said proudly, of course. I can't say that I'm very good, but I'm still better than an old boar like you. Lin Xian. Little Xian, you don't come into contact with this kind of thing, right? Xiao Qingqing asked. Lin Xian nodded. That's right. I'm already troubled to death by memorizing poems, let alone composing poems. Haha, I can understand. After all, you were born in China. However, since you're with my Ningning, you'll be considered half an Icelander in the future. You still have to understand this kind of thing. I understand, Grandpa. And let's go in. Then, they entered the second floor of the huge hall. Lin Xian had gone to the first floor before. Now that he had gone to the second floor, he was hit with a learning atmosphere. Whether it was the decoration or the atmosphere, it all had the feeling of watching an ancient school in a TV series. However, this place was even bigger and could accommodate thousands of people. This could no longer be called a classroom or a school. Isn't this too exaggerated? Lin Xian was secretly speechless. There's nothing to be exaggerated about. You haven't seen the day of our Icelandic Poetry Festival. That's what's called exaggerated. The entire city's streets and alleys were filled with people. It was even more lively than the New Year. Red lanterns were everywhere, and there were all kinds of riddles and games. It was really a city game. All the lights were lit up, Xiao Runing said to Lin Xian. Haha, if there's a chance, I'll go and experience it. Xiao Qingqing laughed and then said, I'll go and prepare first. What's your grandpa going to prepare? Lin Xian asked curiously. My grandpa is one of the few masters of poetry in the Icelandic country. No, he should be a master. Back then, he relied on these poems to chase after my grandma. Xiao Runing said. Lin Xian. Awesome. Awesome. Chapter 860. Lin Xian only knew one thing, and that was that if you were to pursue a girl, you should never write poems or lyrics. That would make you an idiot. Of course, for a girl who also likes you, this might be a different kind of romance. But if she also likes you, then it would not be considered a pursuit, but a hit-off. The pursuit of love was a relatively long process. It could take a few weeks or even many years. Under such circumstances, If you were to give her a confession poem on the Chinese Valentine's Day, then you would be an idiot. Perhaps after pursuing her for a few months, the girl already had some thoughts of being your girlfriend. But because of such a poem, the girl's hard-earned female hormones would disappear in an instant. And Xiao Runing's grandfather actually relied on this to pursue a girl. It seemed that he was a little something. Then if I write a poem for you, will you be my girlfriend? Lin Xian asked Xiao Runing. I will slap you to death. Little Xinhua, what about you? +1. Lin Xian. Not far away. Su Jiming looked at Lin Xian and the others with a ruthless gaze. In addition to being a genius, he was also one of the famous 4 great talents in the City of Ice. In short, his poems were very powerful, and he had even been praised by many masters. He was not clear about Lin Xian's strength. He was just a kid from a third-tier city. He felt that he could not be compared to him at all. But tonight, he wanted to crush this Lin Xian in all aspects. First of all, it was poetry. In the City of Ice, being able to compose poems and lyrics was worshipped by everyone, especially those who were able to reach the level of the older generation at such a young age. This was definitely an existence that the people of the City of Ice admired. That's right, he was basically such an existence. If he was only good at poetry, he would not be so confident. The main thing was that he was also a top genius in martial arts. Everyone, please be quiet. Lan Tianhai stood on the stage, glanced at the crowd and said, everyone on the stage quieted down. Last year, Jiming's Ode to the Beloved was strongly loved and sought after by all the masters. Ning Ning's Reflecting the Moon was loved by everyone in us. Of course, there were many other outstanding poems, but I won't mention them one by one here. This year's rules might be a little different from the past. In the past, us old folks who are already parents could participate, but us old folks aren't of much use anymore. So this year, we hope that you children, the future of our world, will be your home ground. So this year, us old guys will not participate. Reflection of the Moon? Read it for me. Lin Xian elbowed Xiao Runing and laughed. Xiao Runing's small face turned slightly red, feeling embarrassed. Scram! Lin Xian's shoulders. Now all the young people who want to participate in this poetry gathering, please step forward. Then dozens of people stepped forward. There were about 500 young men and women here, but only a few dozen people participated. Although Ice Country advocated culture, it was not easy to compose poems, especially in front of so many big shots in Ice Country. They did not want to embarrass themselves, because their level was not high enough. However, there was still a martial arts competition. Although they advocated culture, they still preferred strength. Ning Ning, you're not participating? Xiao Runing and Xiao Xinhua did not walk forward. They were more eye-catching. Then Lan Tianhai asked. Xiao Runing said, I won't participate. I haven't touched anything in a year, so I won't embarrass myself. It will be boring if Sister Ning Ning doesn't come. Lan Xingxing pouted and said, it's fine. I'll participate in the martial arts competition later. Xiao Runing said with a smile. That's fine. Is there anyone else? Su Jiming looked at Lin Xian. He won't participate? Absolutely not. If he doesn't participate, how can he prove that he is better than him? At this time, Su Jiming stood up, looked at Lin Xian and said, Young Master Lin, you won't participate? Lin Xian shook his head. I'll pass. I don't know how to write poems. Young Master Lin, don't be modest. As Ning Ning's boyfriend, you must have some outstanding qualities. Our Ice Country's girls looking for a boyfriend is actually quite important, and that's probably one of the things that Ning Ning likes. So young Master Lin, don't be modest. Lin Xian. Qin Ming also stood up and said, Yes, young Master Lin, come and participate. We also hope that young Master Lin can participate in the martial arts competition later. We also want to see how young Master Lin is better than us in all aspects. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to pursue our Tiandu's beauty, right? Yes, young Master Lin, come. For a moment, many people were catering to them. Lin Xian rubbed the tip of his nose. I really don't know how to write poems. Xiao Runing also nodded and said, Lin Xian is from China. China doesn't advocate these things, so. Ning Ning, you're too modest. Remember a few years ago, You said that the standard of a future boyfriend is to know some poems? It's funny. For this, I spent a lot of energy studying, and only then did I have some small achievements. It's just that you've already found a boyfriend. It's a pity. So young Master Lin must have some attainments in this area. Su Jiming said with a smile. This, Lin Xian nodded at this time. All right, then I'll show my incompetence a little. Everyone, don't make fun of me when the time comes. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Su Jiming's plan had succeeded. Of course not. I just hope young Master Lin doesn't pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger. You're clearly very proficient, but you act like you're not, ha ha ha. Su Jiming laughed. Of course, it was just a joke. In terms of poetry, he was definitely the best among his peers in this area. Even if Lin Xian wasn't Chinese, there was no way he could beat him. That shouldn't be the case. I don't know any poems. Lin Xian laughed. Ha ha ha, that's good too. If Ning Ning's boyfriend can participate, then it'll be interesting. Lan Tianhai laughed. Lin Xian. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian worriedly. How could she not know what Su Jiming was thinking? Lin Xian was her boyfriend. What did it have to do with him whether he participated or not? Furthermore, he had asked Lin Xian to participate in front of everyone. Lin Xian had already rejected him, yet he still said it. It was obvious that he wanted to compete with him in front of everyone. As for Lin Xian, he really didn't know any poems. In any case, Xiao Runing's understanding of Lin Xian was that he was a bore. Composing poems and lyrics? Did this guy know how to recite them? It's fine, I'm just playing around. Lin Xian patted Xiao Runing's shoulder and walked forward. I'm preparing a new book. The world and genre are similar to this one. The main character is extremely flirtatious. For now, the titles are I have an unlimited number of new systems, I have a new system every day, and I have a billion new systems. If you see these three names, which one is easier to click on? I hope you leave a review. It's very important. Thank you. Chapter 861. Is there something wrong with him? Xiao Xingyue grumbled. There's something wrong with Tai. He knows he'll be humiliated, but he still went up. Xiao Runing shook her head helplessly. Although he was Chinese, when the time came, he would make some strange things that would make people laugh to death. What if he's hiding his strength? Xiao Xingyue mumbled. Xiao Runing. Hiding his strength? He didn't even bother to go to the Sky Martial Court when he was in Tianhua City. Why would he go there to learn? Xiao Xingyue. Tai was done for. However, based on her understanding of Lin Xian, he was very smart. How could he embarrass himself? How could he not know what the other two were thinking? Since he knew, why did he still insist on going up the mountain despite knowing that it was dangerous? Perhaps this was something worth looking forward to. When Su Jiming and Qin Ming saw that Lin Xian had taken the bait, they were overjoyed. Xiao Xian, if you really can't do it, just play around, Xiao Zun said to Lin Xian. He purposely raised his voice, so that others could hear him. This was to protect Lin Xian. He knew that Lin Xian was Chinese, and would not be good at poetry. Since there were dozens of young people here who were all talented, Lin Xian could not be compared to them. Therefore, he said that Lin Xian was just playing around. It would not be embarrassing even if he lost. I understand, uncle. Lin Xian nodded. Haha, young people are very brave. I hope you can show us something unexpected, Lan Tianhai said with a smile. I wouldn't dare. I'm just playing around. I don't know how to write poems. I just hope you won't mind, Lin Xian said with a fist salute. Su Jiming walked over and patted Lin Xian on the shoulder. Every elder here is very easygoing. Don't worry. And you don't have to be so modest anymore. Lin Xian smiled and nodded without saying anything. If that's the case, then let's begin the poetry competition. If there are any outstanding poems in this poetry competition, then I will consider including your poems in the textbook. Hearing Lan Tianhai's words, they were all shocked. In the textbook just now? Wasn't this passed down through the ages? Even if you can't, it's only for a short period of time. Within a short period of time, everyone will know your poem. Wow! How big of a card was that? Of course, since it's in the textbook, it must mean that this poem is extremely outstanding and can't be an ordinary work. However, I think that with your talent, you will definitely be able to come up with a poem this time. Lan Tianhai said. Alright, let's start composing the poem now. The designated poem for you is Homesick. 20 minutes should be enough for you scholars to compose a poem. Then let's begin now. You can walk around the entire venue and ponder. The rest of you can also chat with each other, eat some food, and wait for the children's results. But please don't disturb them. Impromptu composing a poem must have a limited theme. Every time, every year, it would be different. If there wasn't a limited theme, then those people could have already composed the poem a long time ago. They could even get others to help them. How could this be considered impromptu? Of course not. Young Master Lin, do your best. This young master hopes to compete with your poem. Su Jiming patted Lin Xian on the shoulder and said with a smile. I will. Then, Su Jiming sneered and walked away with a pen and paper. He went to ponder over the poem. You will. Are you worthy? In a while, everyone will be able to hear the ridiculous poem that comes out of your mouth. Lin Xian bit his pen. It was unknown how long it had been since he touched a pen. Lin Xian's handwriting was already ugly. Now that he hadn't written in such a long time, it was really like a dog crawling. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian's pensive appearance and couldn't help but worry. Homesick poems should be very common. It wasn't too difficult to write, especially if you just casually made up a few sentences. But for Lin Xian, especially when looking at his furrowed brows, it felt like he was in a difficult situation. Yes, Lin Xian was really in a difficult situation. The poems that he learned the most on earth were homesick poems, right? Which one should he copy? Elder Xiao, how are your grandson-in-law's accomplishments in poetry? Lan Tianhai sat at the judge's table and asked Xiao Qingqing beside him. To be honest, I don't know either. But it shouldn't be comparable to the ones here. After all, China has never advocated this aspect. Their accomplishments in this aspect naturally can't compare to Ice Country. Xiao Qingqing said this to give face to Lin Xian. He wanted others to think that Lin Xian didn't have much accomplishments from the start and didn't have high expectations. This way, even if his poems weren't good, they would have a pardonable view of him. It's just that I feel that since he's participating, he should have something. Lan Tianhai also gave Xiao Qingqing a lot of face by saying this. Time slowly passed. Su Jiming and a few others finished in 10 minutes. Then, Su Jiming walked to Lin Xian's side to take a look. It was still blank. He couldn't help but laugh disdainfully in his heart. As expected, he didn't know at all. Young Master Lin, are you still thinking? Su Jiming said. And it's about time. Then I won't disturb you anymore. Su Jiming then walked away with a smile. At the same time, Lin Xian also started writing. Those ugly words were written on the paper. After a few seconds, Lin Xian's movements stopped. Xiao Runing, who had been paying attention to Lin Xian, felt her heart skip a beat. There was no time. Why did he stop? At this time, Lin Xian raised his head and looked at Xiao Runing. That, Ning Ning, how do you write night can't be May? Everyone. Xiao Runing. Xiao Zun and the others' mouths couldn't help but twitch. Really, Lin Xian's words made many people hold back their laughter. It's fine if you don't know how to write poems, but you also don't know how to write? This really confirmed that he doesn't know how to write poems. A person who doesn't even know how to write can write poems? Xiao Runing then walked over and took Lin Xian's pen and paper. She helped him write the word. When she saw Lin Xian's dog-like words, she simply wanted to cry. Little brother, you'll be laughed at to death like this. Then why did you participate? Xiao Runing helplessly thought. Lin Xian then looked at Lan Tianhai and said, Uncle Lan, it should be fine to let Ning Ning help me write some words, right? Of course it's fine. Lan Tianhai said. Lin Xian nodded, and then added in the last sentence. Alright, time's up. Now everyone quiet down. Everyone, recite your poems in order. We will evaluate your poems. Lan Tianhai said. Chapter 862. Then one scholar after another recited their own poems. How should it be said? To be able to improvise a poem in such a short period of time. Their standard was naturally not too high. But it was not bad either. After all, their foundation was there, and they were considered average. However, it was naturally impossible for them to be included in textbooks. Lan Tianhai and the others were also quite satisfied. None of them were bad. Elders, this poem that I composed is called Late Moon Thoughts. Qin Ming said faintly. And read it. Again, tonight's parting rain. After Qin Ming finished reading, everyone was silent for a while. As expected of Qin Ming, as one of the 4 great scholars, he is indeed extraordinary. Yes, this Late Moon Thoughts is a level higher than those people from before. Maybe it can enter the textbooks. AI comparisons are odious. I'm afraid that only Su Jiming can compare. Everyone discussed spiritedly. The dozen or so elders on the judging panel also discussed for a while. Then, Lan Tianhai said to Qin Ming, "Very good. This poem of yours should be the best one up until now. Continue to work hard." "Thank you, Uncle Lan." Qin Ming bowed slightly, and then sat down with a smile. Next, Su Jiming. Su Jiming then stood up with a smile in everyone's eyes. There were many rich girls who looked at him and Qin Ming with adoration, because they were both proficient in literature and martial arts, and they were also handsome. They were once the Prince Charming of these girls. Elders, the poem that Jiming brought is called Thinking of My Lord. He paused and then read. My lord came from his hometown, so he should know the matters of his hometown. It was a simple sentence, but it made them ponder for a moment. That's right. Jiming, your poem is on par with Qin Ming's. However, your poem has a few special words that are of a higher quality than Qin Ming's poem. If we're talking about this, your poem should be better than Qin Ming's. However, I'll give you 2 a 50 score. Xiao Qingqing nodded and said, "Thank you, Elder Xiao." Su Jiming smiled and sat down. Basically, his song was already the best. At least, it was the best song in this round. He glanced at the people behind him. There was no one who was a threat to him. Next, Lin Xian. Lan Tianhai and the others looked at Lin Xian. It was not that Lin Xian was very eye-catching. In fact, he was indeed eye-catching. He was the son-in-law of the Xiao family and Xiao Runing's boyfriend. However, what did everyone want to see more? He made a fool of himself. Because if you got something that they couldn't, jealousy and envy would surge up. What right do you have to get it? Why can't I? With this kind of mentality, he especially hoped that this person would embarrass himself. It was the kind of feeling that no one in the world should have a better life than him. There were simply too many people with this mentality. Su Jiming thought about how Lin Xian had not written a single word just now. What kind of poem could he write now? He would definitely make a fool of himself. Xiao Runing and Xiao Xinyue also looked at Lin Xian worriedly. After all, Xiao Runing had just said Lin Xian's words to Xiao Xinyue. It was simply unbearable to look at. Xiao Xinyue originally had a little bit of hope for Lin Xian, but it instantly disappeared. Lin Xian stood up and said, "Seniors, my poem is called Autumn Thoughts." Autumn Thoughts. Actually, this poem's name is already too common. An old man said to Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, there is more than one poem with this name. However, I feel that the name of a poem is not too important. It's mainly because my ability is limited. I don't have that much time to think about the name of a poem. And that's fine. Then recite your poem. Lin Xian nodded. Xiao Runing's little heart was already in her throat. She was begging him, "Please don't let other people laugh their heads off." Everyone else was already prepared to be laughed at. Autumn comes under the fortress. The scenery is different. Hingyang wild geese don't pay attention. Voices rise from all directions. For thousands of miles, the smoke sets and the sun closes the lonely city. With a cup of turbid wine, one can travel 10,000 miles. Yin Ran returns without any plans. The Chang pipes are long and frost covers the ground. People can't sleep. The general's hair turns white, and the husband cries. After Lin Xian finished reciting, everyone was silent. Yes, everyone was shocked. This poem was written by Lin Xian? This poem? Xiao Xian, quick, let me see it. Xiao Qingqing said impatiently. Oh. Then Lin Xian handed the poem over. Lan Tianhai and the others all looked over. When Xiao Qingqing and the others saw it, the corners of their mouths couldn't help but twitch. These words were too ugly, right? But, if one were to disregard this ugly character, Lan Tianhai couldn't help but stand up. Then, he wrote down Lin Xian's poem on the blackboard with his beautiful handwriting. Everyone's eyes were on it. Xiao Runing's little mouth opened slightly. This was written by Lin Xian? The crowd might not have heard it clearly when they first heard it. But now that they were looking at the vigorous and powerful poem on the blackboard, they were all dumbfounded. The depth of the poem, the style between the lines, and everything else was too good. Not to mention anything else, at least it crushed Su Jiming and Qin Ming's poems. Moreover, they both wrote poems. Poems were much more difficult than four-line poems. The word count was also much higher. This was really written by Lin Xian? Xiao Xinyue looked at Xiao Runing in confusion. It should be? Xiao Runing wasn't sure either. As for Xiao Zun and Yi Qianling, their faces were flushed red. Really, they thought Lin Xian would lose face. But they didn't expect this poem to be so good. Voices rise from all sides. For thousands of miles, the smoke sets and the sun closes the lonely city. People can't sleep. The general's hair turns white, and the husband cries. Lan Tianhai and the others repeatedly recited the most shocking lines. These two lines were definitely the essence of the poem. Xiao Xian, your poem is expressing, Lin Xian said. It's actually expressing the warriors and generals of the three factions that guard the borders. They guard the borders day after day, year after year, stopping the invasion of demon beasts. It's very tiring, but it's worthy of respect. I've lived in the border cities all year round, whether it was Tianhua City or Linnan City after Tianhua City fell. I've personally witnessed the fall of cities. I've also personally participated in the fight against the demon beasts. I might understand these things better than many people from the interior. Do they miss home? Naturally. So this poem is actually expressing their feelings of homesickness, not mine. Good. 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 Xiao Qingqing looked at Lin Xian with satisfaction. It's said that poetry is a form of sustenance to express one's emotions. Only with true emotions can one write a good poem. Without such emotions, the poem would be soulless. You've experienced it before, which is why you can write such a good adverb. Not bad. I didn't expect you to amaze me so much just from today onwards. Thank you for bringing such a good poem. I also thank you on behalf of the soldiers guarding the borders. Lan Tianhai walked down and patted Lin Xian's shoulder. Chapter 863. Everyone was flabbergasted, because they could not believe it. Was this improvised composition by Lin Xian? But if it was not, they had never heard of this poem before. Then it must be an original composition. As for whether it was prepared for him in advance, the possibility was not high. Because not many people knew the theme this time, there was no way to prepare in advance. More importantly, Lin Xian had always refused to participate. If not for Su Jiming repeatedly inviting him to participate, he would not have participated. Good luck. I hope you can have great accomplishments in both literature and martial arts. This poem is the best one I've seen today. Patriarch Lan, in my opinion, this poem should be able to enter the textbooks, right? At this time, an old man who was also a judge said, Yes, you have the qualifications. Everyone was shocked beyond words. Lan Tianhai then explained to them, whether it is the style or the standard of this poem, it is top-notch. No one would believe that it was written by a young man in his early 20s. More importantly, this poem expresses the homesickness of the soldiers who guard the border and deserve our respect. At the same time, it can also express the seriousness of the current situation. It will have a very positive impact on society. Such a poem is qualified to be included in the textbooks. It can give younger children some inspiration and a deep-rooted impression from childhood. Su Jiming clenched his fists, his expression ugly. Nonsense, he was supposed to humiliate him and crush him. But he was the one who got crushed. Young Master Lin's accomplishments in poetry can be said to be the cream of the crop. I'm very curious. Young Master Lin was born in China, and China does not pay much attention to this aspect. How did young Master Lin come to possess such literary talent? Although it is important to have experience in this area, the prerequisite is that you have to have a stomach full of ink. Su Jiming asked. Actually, this sentence was a question. How could a Chinese in his early 20s write such a poem? Many people didn't quite believe it either. They all looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled and said, "Actually, it's very simple. Although China doesn't pay as much attention to this as Iceland, there are still many schools in China that set up 9 subjects. After all, you can't just be a simple-minded martial artist. Since I was young, I'm not afraid to tell you that I don't have the Son of God system." What? Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian then said, "Without the Godchild system, I can't cultivate. What can I do? That's why I'm different from most Chinese or you guys. I can only learn. That's the only way out." Later on, I slowly realized that the sea of knowledge is really wonderful. I only managed to awaken the God's child system after a long time. However, cultivation can no longer replace my love for learning. I love learning. Even after I entered the Sky Martial Court, I'm more willing to improve my knowledge in the 9 subjects. Perhaps that's the reason why I love learning. Everyone. It's not easy. It's really not easy. It's also because of life. It's just that you've never awakened the Son of God system late. However, the world is so big, and there are so many strange things in the world. It's not surprising. But now, you've become a martial artist with outstanding literary talent. You even managed to woo the beautiful Ning Ning of the Xiao family in Ice City. You can say that you've reached the peak of your life. However, all of this is the result of your own hard work. Little Xian, your deeds are worthy of learning from all the children here. Lan Tianhai exclaimed. Xiao Runing. That's right. Xiao Runing could not help but twitch the corner of her mouth. Are you talking nonsense? Others might believe it, but she didn't. Yes, you've awakened the Son of God system late, but you love learning. You love to swim in the ocean of knowledge. Tui. Shameless. Other than flirting with girls in the academy, when have you ever gone to a place where you learn the 9 subjects? Others might not know, but how could she not know? Therefore, it was very strange. How did this bastard come up with such a good poem? Lin Xian nodded. It's not to the extent of learning. Hard work is indeed important, but I think it's more about talent. Because I feel that I have talent in learning, and I even have a photographic memory. Talent is indeed very important. Lan Tianhai nodded. I see. Then I must learn from young Master Lin. Su Jiming said unwillingly. Of course, she didn't believe it. Do you have literary talent? Do you even have ink in your stomach? Anyway, this poetry gathering isn't over yet. There's more to come. If you can't come up with such a good poem, then won't you be exposed? Because of Lin Xian, the faces of the Xiao family's elders were practically glowing. Is what he said true? Xiao Xinyue moved closer to Xiao Runing and asked in a low voice. What do you think? Xiao Runing asked. It's fake. Although her understanding of Lin Xian was not as deep as Xiao Runing, this little bit of understanding made her feel that Lin Xian was definitely not such a person. Love learning. Nonsense. Then that's it. Xiao Xinyue. But how did he come up with such a good poem? I also want to know. I just hope that he didn't plagiarize someone else's poem. Otherwise, he will definitely be exposed in the following poetry gathering. Xiao Runing sighed. Plagiarism was definitely plagiarism, but it would definitely not be exposed. Good. This poetry gathering's first round has already amazed me. Next, let's move on to the second topic assessment. Lan Tianhai said. Lin Xian, you said it in such a dignified manner, but there are many who don't believe it. You might have guessed it, but I don't believe that you can come up with such a poem. When that time comes and you are exposed, you will be the most despicable person. Su Jiming thought in his heart. Old Su, why don't you come up with the topic for the second round of assessment? Lan Tianhai said to an old man beside him. No need. I'm old. My thoughts are from a long time ago. I can't keep up with the thoughts of modern children. It's better for you young people to come up with it. I'll come. Lan Xingxing ran over and said happily. Don't mess around. No, I'll come. Lan Xingxing said coquettishly. You little girl. Xiao Zun laughed. I think it's really possible. Isn't it just a topic? It doesn't matter who comes up with it. It's best to be able to write any topic. Lan Tianhai nodded. Then what do you want to come up with? Lan Tianhai pinched his precious daughter's pink cheeks. Lin Xian has successfully pursued Sister Ning Ning. Then let's come up with a topic on how to chase a girl. Everyone. Go go go, don't mess around. Lan Tianhai said helplessly. I think that makes sense. We can go with the flow and come up with a topic to express the feelings between a man and a woman. Or to write a poem about a beauty like Ning Ning. How about it? Chapter 864. Write about beautiful women? Many of the people present agreed with this suggestion from the bottom of their hearts. Especially Su Jiming. If he wrote a good poem, and said that it was written with Xiao Xingyue as the original character, would he be able to win her heart? Although writing poems was the dumbest way to pick up girls, one had to know that it depended on the occasion. In such an occasion, if he wrote a poem with Xiao Xingyue as the original character, and wrote it well and received everyone's approval, what would the effect be? It would satisfy the girl's vanity. Would this be effective in chasing her? The effect was simply too great. He couldn't get Xiao Runing, but Xiao Xingyue was just as beautiful. Moreover, this cold woman would feel even better when he conquered her. In fact, he had never expressed his admiration for Xiao Runing to the public. He had only casually mentioned it in his conversation with Lin Xian. If he chased after Xiao Xingyue, no one would say anything about him. Lan Tianhai nodded. Not bad, it's a good suggestion. Everyone here today, Ning Ning, Xingyue, and so on are all beautiful women. Beautiful women are as common as clouds. So be it. Let's write about beautiful women. What do you think? And it's pretty good. Although it seems tacky, it's very realistic. Moreover, there aren't many poems in this area. However, I want to remind everyone of one thing. Xiao Qingqing continued. Any poem needs to express some kind of emotion. Using objects to describe people. Using objects to describe things. This theme can indeed express a simple description of a woman's beauty and yearning. However, I personally hope to add some other things to it. Elder Xiao, what do you think we can add to this description of beautiful women? I feel that it's a bit difficult. Another old man shook his head and said, I'm just suggesting. Of course it's difficult. However, that's where the charm of poetry lies, isn't it? Children, I hope that you can display your intelligence. Yes. Then let's start now. I'll give everyone 10 minutes for this round. There's a total of 30 minutes. I hope that you can come up with better works. Lan Tianhai said. Then, everyone took their notebooks and pens to think. At this time, Su Jiming found an opportunity to strike up a conversation with Xiao Xingyue. President Xiao, I feel that this child Jiming is interested in your family's second daughter. A middle-aged man smiled and said to Xiao Zun, That's good. Jiming is also very outstanding. If the two of them can be together, as a father, I'd be very happy. Xiao Zun said. But my child is also interested in Xingyue. Oh, Qinming? He nodded. Sure, Qinming isn't any worse than Jiming. If the two of them can be together, it's naturally good. It's just that the girl, Xianyu, likes him. Why don't you? Mr. Xiao, if you're free, you can help set them up? Of course, there's no problem. Ning Ning's direction is set. Next is Xingyue. If she likes her, that's good. Su Jiming frowned, and looked at Su Jiming, who was striking up a conversation with Xiao Xingyue. Su Jiming wanted to pursue Xiao Runing before, but now she was being pursued by Lin Xian. What he said to Su Jiming before was just to ridicule him. He liked Xiao Runing, but now, it seems like Su Jiming has changed his direction, and is pursuing Xiao Xingyue. Of course, that's not good. Qinming also coughed and walked towards Xiao Xingyue. Xingyue, about this poem, I think you should be able to give me some inspiration. Can I talk to you? Qinming smiled and walked over. Xiao Xingyue. To be honest, she didn't want to pay attention to him. But in this occasion, everyone was an elder. Even her parents were here. She couldn't not give him face. She was helpless. Young Master Qin, I was the one who talked to Xingyue first. There should be a first come, first served rule, right? Su Jiming looked at Qinming and said. Hearing Su Jiming's words, Qinming was sure that this bastard was going to make a move on Xiao Xingyue. Facing Su Jiming, Qin Ming didn't have much confidence in confidence, because Su Jiming was also very outstanding. Is there a first-come, first-served rule for this kind of thing? Young Master Su, aren't you a little too childish? Qin Ming smiled. Childish? How am I childish? The two of them stood there with smiles on their faces. At this moment Lin Xian walked over. Sister-in-law, I wanted to look for your sister for inspiration to write this poem. But she asked me to look for you and talk? Okay. Then Xiao Xinyue and Lin Xian walked away together. Su Jiming. Qin Ming. What does Lin Xian mean? Su Jiming frowned and said. What? He already has Xiao Runing as his girlfriend. Are you still worried that he will chase after Xiao Xinyue? But you young Master Su, you're wrong. What? You still want to fight with me for Xiao Xinyue? Why not? Xiao Runing is already taken. Why can't this young master pursue Xiao Xinyue? Don't you know that this young master has liked her for a long time? When you wanted to pursue Xiao Runing, did I do anything to fight with you? Qin Ming said angrily. Before anyone can pursue Xinyue, everyone is equal. I have the right to pursue her. As for you young Master Qin, let's see who's better. Su Jiming said and walked away. Humph. You lost to this young master in the Sky Martial Assembly. Do you think you can compete with this young master? Hey, my dear little Xinyue, how are you going to thank me? Lin Xian and Xiao Xinyue stood by the window and asked with a smile. The two of them chatted together and didn't attract any suspicion. Who would have thought that Lin Xian not only wanted to make a move on his older sister, but also his younger sister? Thank you, Xiao Xinyue said indifferently. Wow. I helped you out and you're only going to thank me? I'll treat you to a meal when we get back. Do I need a meal from you? Xiao Xinyue. Then what do you want? We've agreed on the favor you owe me before. You'll give me a chance to pursue you in return, right? Xiao Xinyue didn't say anything. Then this time, it'll be a kiss. Xiao Xinyue. You'd better think about how to compose this poem. I heard from my sister that you don't like to study. Think about how to not let others find out that you don't have any real talent. Lin Xian. Damn. You think I plagiarized it? No, it could be a blind cat running into a dead mouse. You just happen to be able to write such a poem. But it's just a coincidence. It's impossible to write a second poem as good as this one. Unless you have real talent. But you don't. Then what if I can come up with another poem that will shock everyone? What do you think we should do? Let's bet. Chapter 865. Lin Xian had discovered a super magical thing. No matter how hard it was to woo a girl, or what her personality was like, be it Linglong Shui or Linglong Yu, they all had one thing in common, and that was that they would never admit defeat. If it was a bet, then so be it. Why would he be afraid of her? Xiao Xinyue was the same. A bet? Why would he be afraid of her? What bet? How could Xiao Xinyue admit defeat to Lin Xian? Didn't you say that I can't write good poems? If I can write another poem that will shock everyone, then you have to be my girlfriend. Xiao Xinyue. Was he that confident? Normally, she would have been fooled by Lin Xian. But her sister had clearly said that this Lin Xian had never learned the 9 subjects or anything like that. He didn't understand at all. What if you lose? Tell me. Xiao Xinyue pondered for a moment, then said. If you lose and don't shock everyone, then you have to help me do 3 things. As for what they are, I don't know for now. Lin Xian started acting again, but he looked hesitant. 2. 3. Then it has to be within my ability. Okay. Xiao Xinyue heard Lin Xian's hesitation and cowardice, and as expected she fell for it. She thought that he definitely couldn't write it, then said, You can't go back on your word. Okay. Lin Xian nodded, then said, Then if you lose, you have to be my girlfriend. Okay. Xiao Xinyue said confidently. She didn't know how sinister people could be. Lin Xian was laughing in his heart. In Xiao Xinyue's opinion, even if Lin Xian had some literary talent, how could he shock everyone? The previous poem was indeed good, and it almost shocked everyone. The main reason was that the first poem was very good, and it would be accepted by many people. However, because of the first poem, the expectations for the second poem would be even higher. Moreover, the second poem was about a beautiful woman. This kind of position was very different. If it did not meet this expectation, then even if it was written well, it would only be shocking, but it would not be able to shock everyone. To ensure that she would win, Xiao Xinyue continued. Also, it has to be written in the textbook. Lin Xian, wah, aren't you too ruthless? You said it, you can't go back on your word. Xiao Xinyue said proudly. You. Lin Xian looked like he was deflated. Seeing Lin Xian's look, Xiao Xinyue's heart was her. Didn't he shoot himself in the foot? Did he want her to be his? In your dreams. Hurry up and write. It's already been more than 10 minutes. Especially when Xiao Xinyue realized that more than 10 minutes had passed, which meant that Lin Xian only had 10 minutes left. How could he write a poem that could shock everyone, and even enter the textbook? You're ruthless. Wait until you become my girlfriend. I'll make you cry. Lin Xian spat out some harsh words before walking away. Xiao Xinyue. Bastard. When you lose, the first thing I'll do is make you bark like a little puppy. Xiao Xinyue thought evilly. Lin Xian walked to his seat, sat down, and wrote a question without hesitation. Song of Everlasting Regret. Little guy, do you still think you've won? I'm sorry, but I'll definitely have you as my girlfriend. Song of Everlasting Regret. Lin Xian's impression of this poem was simply too deep. It was mainly because the story told in this poem was simply too tragic, yet too beautiful and too helpless. The entire poem was very long, but there were many famous lines that have been passed down. Such a poem was written by a poet for many years before it was completed. Could such a poem win everyone's applause? If they couldn't win, then there was really a problem with their taste and literary talent. Lin Xian still remembered that it took him a lot of effort to memorize this thing. Lin Xian finally started writing, and it attracted the attention of many people. 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Many of those people had been paying attention to Lin Xian, but they were curious. Why? Because it had been 8 minutes since he started writing, and his pen hadn't stopped. What is this kid writing? He's probably written a few hundred words, right? Lan Tianhai and the others were very curious, but they didn't look, because it wasn't good to look at it now. It was better to keep a trace of hope in their hearts. Xiao Xinyue also saw that Lin Xian had been writing for a long time. Then, she couldn't help but go over to take a look. She finally understood what her sister meant when she said that the words were like a dog's crawl. It was too ugly. What are you looking at? Don't disturb my thoughts. Let me tell you, if I don't win, it's you who disturbed me. Lin Xian said. Xiao Xinyue. Then she walked away silently. Who would want to see it? It was too ugly. How is it? What did he write? He's been writing furiously. Xiao Runing asked. I didn't see it clearly. It's too ugly. Xiao Xinyue said lightly. Xiao Runing held back her laughter. But it seems like he wrote a few hundred words. Ah, he's writing an essay? Xiao Runing was dumbfounded. It was normal to write a poem with more than 100 words. It was a few hundred words. What kind of nonsense did he have to cook up? Su Jiming also came over to take a look in surprise. Then, he was directly persuaded by Lin Xian's dog's crawl. He held back his laughter in his heart. What was the point of writing so much? All right, time's up. Please put down your pens and ink. Lan Tianhai said. Clatter. At the same time, Lin Xian put down his pen and let out a long sigh. Damn it. Writing 840 words in 10 minutes wasn't easy. Luckily my handwriting is ugly. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to finish it. Lin Xian muttered in his heart. I don't know why, but this is the one I've been looking forward to the most in so many years. What about you guys? Lan Tianhai asked. Everyone nodded. Yes, this topic is very difficult. Under the premise that it's written well, it's even more difficult to not be conventional. I'm looking forward to the performance of all the scholars. Then let's begin. Then one by one, they recited their own poems. It was still Su Jiming, Qin Ming, and Lin Xian ending it. Sigh. Hearing the poems recited by those people, everyone was a little disappointed. It wasn't bad, but each of their poems didn't deviate from the conventional. They only expressed pure love and love. It was said that poems were used to express emotions. They borrowed something to express something. Of course, for beauties, Emotions were also considered emotions. There was nothing wrong with expressing love. It was very pure. However, everyone was looking forward to something more. Who could express something else by writing about beauties and love? This was what they were looking forward to. And it was also impressive. Of course, it wasn't to say that the ones in front were bad. Of course it was good. It was just lacking a feeling that made them stunned. Chapter 866. At this time, Qin Ming stood up and said, "Elders, the name of this little one's poem this time is My Fair Lady. Unread it." Then, Qin Ming slowly recited the poem he had composed. After reading it, the surroundings were silent for a while. Lan Tianhai and the others were discussing something. After a while Lan Tianhai said, "Not bad. To be able to compose 8 lines in such a short period of time. And the standard of each line is very high. Although it's purely about love and beauty, it wins in terms of the standard. The expression of emotions is more realistic. It should be the best poem in this round so far. Good luck." "Thank you, Uncle Lan." This poem was inspired by Xinyue. Qin Ming slightly bowed and said, "Oh, could it be that the woman in the poem is Xinyue? And, with Xinyue as the model, I'm very satisfied to receive everyone's affirmation." Qin Ming said with a smile. "Xiao Xinyue." "Ha ha ha, Elder Xiao. It seems that your little granddaughter is also going to be single." Lan Tianhai smiled and said to Xiao Qingqing. Xiao Qingqing said, "Let the children decide on their own matters." At this time, Su Jiming stood up and said, "Young Master Qin, although writing 8 lines in 30 minutes is not bad, your poem is still 4 lines short compared to this young master's New Moon." Qin Ming frowned. Then Su Jiming slightly bowed and said, "Elders, the poem that Jiming brought is called New Moon. It was also inspired by Xinyue. The following is the content. Lin Xian. Wow. These F** King bootlickers are each better than the other." Lin Xian couldn't help but secretly click his tongue. The title of the poem New Moon is here. You're also a F** King talent. After Su Jiming finished reading, Qin Ming's frown deepened. It was already very difficult to compose 12 lines in half an hour. Furthermore, it was even more difficult to maintain the quality of the poem. Not bad, not bad. Lan Tianhai and the others nodded in satisfaction. Although it's just a poem that expresses love, its standard is about the same as Qin Ming's. At the same time, it has 4 more lines than Qin Ming's. It's very good. The poem depicts a very beautiful moonlit night. The name of the poem, New Moon, has 2 meanings. It also takes the lead in the name of the poem. Everyone, this New Moon should be the best poem in this competition, right? Lan Tianhai asked the crowd. Everyone nodded. "Many thanks, seniors." Su Jiming smiled and bowed. He glanced at Xiao Xinyue, who was not far away. "Both of them want to pursue you?" Xiao Runing nudged Xiao Xinyue with her elbow. "It's their business whether they chase after me or not." Xiao Xinyue naturally did not care, because she did not have a good impression of them. "It's Lin Xian's turn. Let's see what he can write." Next, Lin Xian. Lan Tianhai and the others looked at Lin Xian. "Lin Xian, I saw you chatting with Xinyue just now. After chatting, you sat down and wrote a poem. Did you get the inspiration for this adverb from that girl Xinyue?" Lan Tianhai joked. "Family head Lan, you can't say that. Ning Ning is still here." A middle-aged man laughed. "Ha ha ha, I don't mean anything else." Lin Xian then said, "No, the inspiration for this poem came from a novel. Although this was a true story, it was a story from his world. There was no such story in this world. So Lin Xian could only say that the inspiration came from a novel." "Oh, then you're in trouble. How can the emotions in a novel be replaced by your own experience in reality?" Lan Tianhai then asked. "Just now, I saw you writing at full speed for more than 10 minutes. How many lines did you write in these 10 minutes?" 120 lines, 7 words per line. Everyone. 120 lines, 7 words per line? 840 words? In just 10 minutes, you wrote a poem of 840 words? Hearing Lin Xian's words, they were shocked. Wasn't this too exaggerated? To write so many words in such a short time, It can't be a running account, right? If it's a running account, everyone here should be able to do it, Su Jiming said. To be honest, with this amount of time and words, it was hard to believe that he could write a good work. Xiao Runing also frowned. 840 words? He really wrote a composition. Read it out for us, Lan Tianhai said. Lin Xian nodded. The Han Emperor's love overturned the country. Yi yearned for it for many years. The Yang family had a daughter who grew up and was raised in a boudoir. Born with a natural beauty, she chose to be by the side of the emperor. Looking back with a smile, the beauties of the 6 palaces paled in comparison. When Lin Xian simply read out the first few lines, everyone was speechless. Yes, at the beginning, they thought that it might be a running account. But just from the first few lines, which one of them was a running account? Even the first few lines made them think that it could be passed down through the ages. The Han Emperor's love overturned the country. Born with a natural beauty, she yearned for it. Looking back with a smile, the beauties of the 6 palaces paled in comparison. Just this directly described the woman in the poem to the fullest. Devastatingly beautiful. Looking back with a smile, she yearned for it. The beauties of the 6 palaces paled in comparison. This? In heaven, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be entwined branches. Heaven and earth are everlasting. Sometimes it ends. This hatred will never end. 5 minutes later, Lin Xian read out the entire poem. To be honest, when Lin Xian was writing, he didn't feel much. But when he finished reading, his heart was filled with emotions. The image and story of this poem were simply too thick. This entire poem had written about a relationship, a story, and an era. Furthermore, running account. I want you to find a line in this poem about a running account. Which one wasn't a masterpiece? When Lin Xian finished reading, the surroundings were still silent. In heaven, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be entwined branches. Heaven and earth are everlasting. Sometimes it ends. This hatred will never end. Blue Sky Sea and many other poems were muttering Lin Xian's last few lines. Repeatedly deliberating, repeatedly muttering. Xiao Xinyue and Xiao Runing were also stunned on the spot. As girls, their thoughts were more meticulous. They could understand the image and content of this poem more easily. They could understand the helplessness of the woman in this poem, her devotion and steadfastness towards love, and her final sorrow. This hatred will never end. When Lin Xian was reading, they felt as though they had finished watching a movie. The ending was a tragedy that made them cry uncontrollably. Looking back with a smile, the beauties of the 6 palaces paled in comparison. In heaven, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be entwined branches. Blue Sky Sea's eyes lit up. He couldn't help but exclaim loudly. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.